There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz.jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jobs180.com's Marketing Me Live at Dr. Filemon Aguilar College Memorial, Las Pinas, and of course, at the University of the Cordilleras, Baguio. So magandang umaga po sa mga taga Las Pinas at naimbag na aldaw kada kayo, especially taga Jai, Baguio. So today, we will be joined by the speakers from Jobs180.com, CDO Foodsphere, and ADP Philippines. So before we start, may we invite everybody for the opening prayer, followed by the singing of the national anthem, followed by the listening team, DFCAMC, and video from University of Cordilleras.
mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, dalas ng sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang binirang, kuyagan ng mag-ibig, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pagaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magtitindig. Lumalang araw ng walhaging pagsinta, mo'y langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya na kay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Las Pinas kong minamahal, lungsod ng dakila't banal, hanggang buhay ko, masanggalang sa'yo. Ang saksi ko ay may kapal, ang ngalan mo'y itatanggal, at ingatan kong Dias o Las Piñas. Titig namin iyong dinggin, awit ng aming damdamin, ng katiwasayan, sa'yo ay hanahan. Lambing-lambing ikawayan, palya ay katahimikan, ang kalaya ay may bakas ng Las Piñas.
From the city of love and progress to the college of open hands, giving us hope and dignity for us to serve our motherland. From thy portals we gain our strength, in thy hallways is our knowledge, your beauty as inspiration, and your caring for our courage. Oh, DFCAMC College, oh, our alma mater, with your guidance, we will never suffer. Oh, DFCAMC College, oh, our alma mater, our pathway to success, together we will conquer.
Nothing but years of happiness as we march on to victory. Will our hearts beat, will our soul love, with the colors of our memory. Oh, DFCAMC College, oh, our
bawat lakbay ng bituin ay may tagumpay. Anumang bagyo't lindol sa gisag mo ay aming gabay. Iba't ibang lahi at kulay nagwawagayaway patungo sa tahanan ng mga mahusay. Tanyag at kilala sa bawat larangan, ipapamana sa buong sambayanan. Hinta ko sumabay sa sinag ng araw, intayo sa lugar ng sining na buhay. Hinuhubog ang mga atleta, pagkandat na lumasa, tatak Universidad ng Cordillera.
Sabay sa pagsikat ng araw, ngalan mo'y sasayaw.
Sa pag-usbong ng tinataging galing, sulong mo'y nagliliyap pa rin.
Isnan matuwan di ako, itay tayawan nagan mo.
Ipasas na isyong syuma dyan kinadain, itagtagay na laing mo.
Manasa sa taho, yaman alalay gusto. Ikarkararagan nga to, yaman nagrasa taho. Mansat sa kay kiron, manis guidan di gusto. Isaw-sawat ko na po, dyan mandadat sa ito. Hinta ko sumabay sa sinag ng araw, intayo sa lugar ng sining na buhay. Ginuhubog ang mga atleta, pagkatat na lubasa, tatak Universidad ng Cordillera. Ko sumabay sa sinag ng araw, intayo sa lugar ng sining na buhay. Hinuhubog ang mga atleta, pagkatat na lubasa, tatak Universidad ng Cordillera. Tatak Universidad ng Cordillera.
Okay, again, welcome everybody. Ready na ba kayo? So I hope ready na ang lahat. And by the way, my name is Joyce from the Academic Linkages of Jobs 180. I'll be your today's host. And of course, we are live via Facebook and YouTube. And of course, joining me today, Miss Shari from, also my colleague from the Academic Linkages 2. Diyan po ba si Miss Shari? Hi, Miss Shari. And so, sasamahan po tayo ni Ms. Shari later sa ating Q&A, of course, sa introduction din ng speaker. So, pag may mga katanungan po kayo, mahiya, type in your questions sa comment box. Diyan po. So, mamaya babasahin po natin lahat ng yan. And of course, we are hoping that everybody is excited to learn new things today. So, to officially start today's session, may we invite Mr. Eldon Harris B. Soriano, RTM from the Psychological Testing Unit from University of the Cordilleras, and Dr. Raymond, LPD Vice President from Academic Affairs of the DFCAMC Las Pinas, for their opening remarks.
Hello, good morning po everyone. Good morning and greetings from the city of Pines, from the University of the Cordilleras. So today we celebrate the success of our students who, despite the difficulties of the pandemic, both managed to finish the grueling years of academic life. Being able to finish school, especially at this time, is no minor feat. So give a warm round of applause to yourselves. And for that, as we say in our university, may you hold high the torch and let its blaze reach all corners. Today, in partnership with Jobs 180, we aim to bring you timely topics in boosting your chances of landing a job and giving you tips on how to deal with job hunting during the pandemic. Jobs 180 has a very unique way of enhancing career progression of students with their job directories and e-portfolios, which will be discussed later on. We also have speakers from our industry partners who are eager to give you their thoughts and share their experiences and best practices of job hunting with you. We hope that these 2 hours of learning bring you more knowledge, make you become future ready and future proof. Without further ado, our dear students, we welcome you to Jobs 180 Marketing Me Live. Congratulations on your graduation and good morning.
All right, thank you, Sir Eldon. And also calling on Dr. Raymond Magno, LPT Vice President for Academic Affairs of DFCAMC Las Pinas, for his opening remarks.
To our college president, Professor Eugenia Biguera, to our vice president for administration, Professor Emerson Albacete, Engineer Michelle Pulion, Dean, Satellite Campus, to the other program chairs and unit heads, to our invited speakers, and most especially to our participants, our students, good morning to everyone. Let me start with a kick-off of this activity with a quotation from Benjamin Franklin. It says that if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. This quotation is essential in developing our career plan since it will provide the much needed directions and clarify your future goals. It helps you recognize your strengths and weaknesses and or limitations, as well as the skills and knowledge that you needed to attain your long-term objectives. Because we are spending so much our life pursuing our professional objectives, it is critical to ensure that the appropriate steps are made and proper preparations done early in life. You people are born with a clear mind and a clear vision of what they want to do with their lives. However, because the majority of us are unsure of what we want from life, it is critical to prepare ahead. As a result of this, career planning will provide your work, and in some ways, your life become more meaningful and be purposeful. With that, good morning to everyone and welcome to our career planning sponsored by the Office of Guidance and Admission. Good morning.
All right, so thank you for that, Sir Eldon and Sir Raymond. So, as usual, for the UC and FCAM students, we'd like to know where you're from. So please comment your name and year, strand, and type in your questions. So please, ag-comment kayo po, taga-Jai UC, tat na maamwak no, taga-need no kayo, tat makapalanit ha. Just kidding. Okay, so please don't forget to share this to your friends too. Okay, so here is our schedule for today. So we have the online applications, which will be discussed from Jobs 180 by Jobs180.com. Also, we have developing work ethics from CBO Food Sphere, and we have personality development from ABP Philippines. So again, shout out to everyone who is here now. Again, please comment your name and strand. And as usual, as we go along, type in your question so we can answer your question and we can read it later. Okay? So, para makilala po ating mga speaker, may I call on again my partner, Ms. Shai, to introduce our speaker. Hi,
Hi
Ms.
guys.
Shai.
Hi guys. Good morning. All right. So for our first speaker, online applications, it will be discussed by Sir Kim Chua. He is the managing director of Jobs180.com. He has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. He is a trusted resource speaker, and he has done over 1,000 career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. Ayan. So, Sir Kim, if you're ready, take it away.
Everyone, allow me to share to you how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. A lot of you are now looking for a job and exploring for the next chapter in your life. I hope that this session will be able to help you. No, not only you, but the people that you know that needs help in terms of how to make a job-winning resume. Yan. So yan na tinatawag natin resume link. A lot of platforms right now, mga online platforms are being offered left and right. But for you to know paano to magiging job-winning tool or job-winning resume to, meron akong checklist. So go with me, no, with all these checklists. Your checklist should include the following. Number one, kailangan mag-stand out ka. When you look for a job, you have to be able to stand out. Because if you're not going to be able to stand out, then I think you'll just be part of the crowd. You'll be one of the next applicant na wala lang, na hindi mapapansin. Another thing that should be in your checklist is that you should only have one file. Hindi dapat maraming files na iba-iba sinesend sa mga companies. Mas maganda, isang file lang para pag sinend mo, lahat ng details mo nandoon na. Another thing in your checklist is that it should make the process more efficient. Ibig sabihin, mas mabilis mag-submit, mas mabilis makita ng HR, at mas mabilis kayo makontak for possible next steps na or possible job offer na. Now, another thing in my checklist is that dapat tipid ito, wala itong gastos. The tool that I will show you today, wala itong gastos. Libre po ito. At higit sa lahat, itong pinaka-importante sa lahat. This should be in your checklist. The tool should be secured. Okay? More than anything, importante talaga ang data. Pero ang data ninyo, dapat yung protectionan. And using this tool, this is the most secured resume kung tawagin. Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Let me go through the next slides na. Okay? Ito ang tinatawag na resume link. Okay? A personalized URL for anyone can open online anytime. I will use an example para makarelate kayo. If you are John Santos, ang link mo or resume link mo pwede maging johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. At yan na po ang resume link nyo. So how do you make one? Go with me through the 3 simple steps. First step is you have to register. Absolutely, wala tong bayad. Libre po ito. How do you register? You go to the website of jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com at dun ka mag-register on the upper right side of your screen. Now, as you do that, you have to put the basic information. Okay? So, alam nyo na ano mga information yan. Hindi ko na isa-isahin. Babawasan nyo naman at alam nyo naman ano dapat ilagay. Now, as you create your account, you have to use a valid email. Okay? Now, before we go to the email, paalala ko lang, sa mga nag-isip sa inyo, paano kung hindi ako si John Santos, ano gagawin kong resume link? O yan, baka nag-isip kayo eh. So, if ever lang, meron kang kapangalan, okay, just so happen na may ibang John Santos na nauna sa inyo, ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon doon na red na box, sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Huwag kayong malungkot. Pag taken na, okay lang, just be creative. Pwede mo gawin, baliktarin mo. Gawin mo santosjohn.jobs180.com o kaya J Santos o kaya Santos J o kaya JS o kaya SJ. Depende kung ano gusto mo gawin. Basta importante, wala kang kapangalan. Okay? Wala kang kapareho. Now, when you do this, huwag kayong OA. Do not create yung mga ganong klaseng over creative na mga resume link because it doesn't look professional. Imagine submitting to a company with your resume link that says eljablo.jobs180.com. Hindi yan mukhang professional. Okay? Now, when you register, please use a valid email. Ito yung emphasis ko lang sa pag-create nyo ng account na dapat gamitin yung email, yung nabubuksan yung email, kagaya ng Gmail, Yahoo, or any email na nabubuksan nyo. Do not create, example lang yung mga email na kagaya ng ganito, patricia@facebook.com na email. Huwag kang gagamit ng joseph@facebook.com na email to register. In short, huwag mong gagamitin yung @facebook.com na email. Because if you use @facebook.com na email, you will no longer be able to receive notification being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Importante po na nabubuksan nyo yung email nyo kasi kailangan mo i-verify yung account mo. Okay? It is very important that you verify your account as a proof na ikaw nag-register at pangalawa, para ikaw ay makapag-apply. If you don't do this, if you don't verify, walang mangyayari sa account nyo. Okay? So sayang lang. So you have to verify to finish the first step. Okay? How do you verify? Just open your email, look for the link, click mo yung verify, you're done with the first step. Okay? Tapos na yung first step. Ano yung first step? Register. Wala tong bayad. Let's go to the second step. Ang second step, ang pinaka-logical sa lahat. Kailangan kumpletong detalye nyo. So how do you do that? You go back again to your account by going to the website of jobs180.com. This time, hindi mo kailangan mag-register. Ang gagawin mo, mag-login. Pag login mo, lagay mo dito yung email nyo or resume link nyo, kayo lang may alam yan, at lalo na yung password nyo na kayo lang talaga may alam yan. So when you do that, you now go inside your account. Pag nasa loob na kayo ng account nyo, ano gagawin nyo? Mabilis na lang ito. Fill in the blanks. Okay? Now, I don't have to go through all the information here because definitely, alam mo naman pag sinabi ditong name, malamang pangalan nyo. Pag nakalagay dito address, malamang address nyo. Diba? So you put all the information ninyo dito. Okay? Lagay nyo. Then, what else do you put in here? Importante po, lagay dito lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak ng isang HR. Kagaya ng social media account nyo. Diba? Hindi lang email tsaka phone number. Bakit? Most of the time, ano nangyayari? Okay, let me tell you. Marami sa inyo nilalagay nyo phone number nyo. Pero pag tinatawagan kayo ng HR, hindi nyo sinasagot, lalo na pag hindi mo kilala. Hala, sino kaya ito? Hindi mo sasagutin. Diba? Kasi takot kayo, baka nagsascam or whoever yung tumatawag. So ano mangyayari sa mga HR? Mag-i-email kami ngayon sa inyo. But you don't open email more often that you open your social media account. So I recommend lahat ng posibleng paraan na pwede ka makontak na isang HR, ilagay mo dito. Kagaya ng mga Facebook nyo or Twitter nyo para mabilis tayo makapag-PM. Private message, makapag-invite for the next step. Okay? What else do you put here? You also put here your work options, yung mga work experience nyo. Pagdating po sa work options, you can see on the screen, you have 4 options na pwede nyo pagpilian. Parang switch lang yan. Yes, no switch, on, off switch. So you can choose here, example, looking for OJT, lagay mo yes, if you're looking for OJT right now. And later on, pag hindi na, turn it off. Edi lagay mo na no. Diba? So depende yan kung anong mas trip nyo or anong mas pasok dun sa hinahanap nyo right now. What the system will do is it will try to match you with companies who are also looking for the same profile with what you have. Yan yung kagandahan ng tool natin. Hindi mo kailangan mag door-to-door para mag-submit ng resume link ninyo. Okay? What else do you put here? You put here your school under education. Even later on, okay, pagka-graduate nyo, you can also put here your schools. Yung mga nag-take pa kayo ng further studies, pwede mo rin ilagay dito. Okay, so walang limit sa space yan. Pagdating mo sa seminars attended, ganun din. Kahit gano'ng karami, pwede nyo ilagay dito. Kahit magkopyahan pa kayo. Just make sure lang, alam mo yung seminar na yon. Kaya baka matanong ka sa interview. Pagdating po sa certification, ganun din. Put all the certification programs that you've had, you put it here. Okay? When it comes to the achievement, do not limit your achievement only inside the school. Hindi lahat na nakikinig ngayon ay Dean's Lister. Hindi kayo lahat dito ay honor student. Diba? Ayan, nag-agree marami sa inyo. So, hindi lang po ang achievement nakabase sa academic excellence. Some of you are student leaders. So, if you're active sa school, you also put it here kung ano yung mga pinagkakaabalahan nyo. And hindi lang sa loob ng school, even outside the school. If you're active in your barangay, halimbawa, isa kang tanod, ilagay mo dyan. Diba? Yan yung mga achievement ninyo. So, you put it here. Bakit? Because what you're doing now is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to that prospective company. Okay? Now, when it comes to the skills and languages, ito yung common observation namin mga HR. Pagdating sa skills, nilalagay mo lang na skills yung mga umiikot lang sa course nyo. Hindi porkat communication arts ang course mo, com arts lang ang skills na alam mo. Hindi porkat engineering ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang-engineering. Hindi porkat tourism or HRM ang course mo, ang alam mo lang na skill ay pang-tourism at pang-HRM. Maybe some of you are into multimedia, into photography, into videography, into something else, arts, crafts, whatever. Lahat ng yan, skills nyo yan. Remember, what you're doing here is you're marketing yourself more effectively. Kaya kung ako sa inyo, ilagay mo dito lahat ng skills na alam ninyo. Pagdating po sa languages, ganun din. Huwag mong ilimit yan sa 2 lengguwahe lang. Because I'm sure alam nyo na yung 2. Kung 2 lang talaga alam nyo, din 2 lang. Ano tong 2 to? English and Tagalog or Filipino. Okay? Now, if you know other local dialect, Bisaya, Kapampangan, Sabacano, Ilonggo, you can also put it here. If you know foreign languages, German, French, Chinese, Japanese, diba, Korean, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? Walang limit sa space yan. When it comes to the references, Sigurado ko yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang malaking tanong dito kayo ba'y kilala nila? Sana oo, di ba? Kasi madalas pag tumatawag kami sa mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. So please tell them, ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now at this point, to make your life easier, kung sakali lang nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo in your Word file or maybe in your doc file, depende kung anong file nyo, PDF file, whatever file you have. Kung nakagawa ka na ng resume nyo, simple na lang. Just copy all the information inside dito. Now, ilagay mo sa loob ng resume link. Just transfer them here inside the resume link para maging secured yung data nyo. Okay? Kung bakit secured, I'll tell you as we go along. Okay? So, yung mga sinabi ko, I think alam nyo na yan. Alam nyo na yan. Okay? Itong mga susunod kong papakita, ito yung mga amazing na portion. Let me start with the portfolio section. Ano yung portfolio section? This is the part where you now upload evidence of your skills. Example, ano ebidensya na graduate na kayo later on? Diploma. Diba? Transcript. Ano pa? Toga? Hindi ebidensya yung toga. Okay? Kung ano man meron nyo, diba? Certificate, diploma, yan. Ebidensya yan. Okay? Kung transcript of records is evidence na graduate na kayo. Ano ebidensya na wala kayong criminal record? NBA clearance, police clearance, diba? Ano ebidensya na pwede ka pumunta sa ibang bansa? Passport, visa, lahat ng mga sinasabi mong mga skills mo or yung mga what you're claiming that you know, you can now support them here sa portfolio section by showing those documents. Diba? Anong ebidensya na ikaw ay healthy? Meron kang medical clearance. Anong ebidensya na pwede kang mag-drive ng sasakyan? Meron kang driver's license. Diba? So gets mo na yung sinasabi ko. Ang point ko lang is you can now put the things here to support yung claim nyo of your skills. Now, you're starting to think, Sir, kung pare-pareho naman kaming graduate sa school namin, pare-pareho kami magkakaklase, same yung course namin, same yung school, same yung teachers, same yung curriculum, pare-pareho lang naman kami lahat, walang experience sa trabaho, how will we stand out? Ayan, di ba? Okay, ito ngayon yung isang magandang recommendation ko sa inyo on how you now stand out. You get your smartphones. Kunin mo yung mga smartphones nyo. Kung wala, manghiram sa kaibigan. Okay, hiramin mo sa kaibigan mo. I-record mo yung selfie video mo. You say something interesting about yourself. Record it in about 30 seconds to 1 minute lang. Huwag na masyadong mahaba. Ano gagawin mo? Pretend that you are being interviewed by the HR. So you answer basic questions like, tell me something about yourself. O, di ba? Ano yung mga gasgas sa tanong natin? Why should we hire you? O, di ba? Just imagine na tinanong ka ng HR at sasagutin mo na lang siya. Ang maganda lang ngayon, recorded mo. So kung hindi mo type yung sagot, i-delete mo. Pag type mo, you save it. Then you upload it sa YouTube or sa Vimeo. Maraming mga video channel na libre, yung mga video converter sa online. Hanapin mo lang. And when you're done, you put that video link doon sa portfolio section nyo. O, di ba? This time, it will definitely make you stand out because depende na to sa diskarte mo on how you're going to present yourself. Okay? So I leave it up to you on how you do that. Now, another thing for you to do, na sure akong hindi to makokopya ng classmate mo, ay yung picture mo. Diba? So you put your profile picture here. Now, when it comes to the picture, hindi kailangan sobrang formal na formal. Hindi kailangan pumunta sa studio. Huwag na kayo gumastos. Ang importante dito, tumingin kayo sa camera. Plain background. Okay? Plain background, tumingin kayo sa camera. Wear something, of course. Wear something decent. Okay? Do not upload profile pictures that look like the right side of your screen. Yung mga sample na yan, hindi po maganda example yan. Okay? So, huwag kayo maglagay ng mga ganun kasi mga sample na profile picture. Now, another good thing pa that will make you stand out using the resume link is your cover photo. Yes! A picture paints 1,000 words. Yan ang kasabihan na very, very applicable dito. A lot of you who are listening today, hindi kayo gifted with writing skills. Hirap kayo i-express ang inyong feelings at inyong thoughts into words. Hindi mo ma-type, hindi mo ma-sulat. Tama? Hirap tayo eh. Bakit? Hindi natural sa atin yan. Pero pagdating sa picture, kayang-kaya mo i-express yung inyong personality. Look at the examples I'm showing you. Look at the one on the left. Ano siya? Isa siyang ophthalmologist or optometrist. Sabi naman ng iba, eye expert. Di ba? Yung sa kanan, ano siya? Sabi ng iba, sir, parang IT. Sir, techie siguro kasi maraming gadget, pati stapler, gadget niya. Diba? Halimbawa, o sabi ng iba naman, sir, parang makalat. O depende na kung how you are going to interpret it. But now, the way I see it, itong taong to, multitasker. Okay? Another good example I'm showing you is this one. Someone from psychology, someone from neurologist, or maybe someone who knows left and right. Ganun lang kasimple. No? So, depende yan how you're going to express yourself. Okay? Another good example pa, ito. Itong person na to, ang gusto niya sabihin, there's no shortcut to success. You will be able to reach your goal by taking one step at a time. O, di ba? So I'm showing you good examples. Hindi yan member na akit bahay gang. Hindi rin po yan social climber, in case that's what you're thinking. So kung nagpakita ko ng magaganda example, I will also show you yung mga hindi magandang example para wag niyong gagayahin. Huwag kayo magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay? Make sure you put your picture there. Okay? Kasi maraming pangalan ngayon interchangeable. Ako mismo, guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think babae ako. Ako rin mismo, napagkakamala ko yung mga aplikante, pag nakita ko, Chris, George, Alex, Sam. O, diba? Minsan isipin ko, Joey, lalaki. Yung pala, babae. Diba? So you better put your picture there para at least alam ng HR who to expect. Okay? Now, when you make your resume link, dapat may laman talaga yan. Kasi kung walang laman yan, ganyan itsura niyan. Blanco. And how do you expect companies will look, or HR from companies will look at your profile if you submit to them resume links that look like this? It's like submitting a piece of a paper, bond paper, or long bond paper, short bond paper na walang laman except pangalan mo. And that's the same as this one. So hindi yan papansinin ng mga HR for sure. Okay? Sayang lang oras nyo at oras ng HR. Kailangan attractive. Okay? When I say attractive or catchy, do not overdo it naman. Now, this is just in my opinion. In my opinion, I think this one is not a good example. Kasi ang dating niya parang tamad, parang happy-go-lucky, parang chill-chill lang, no? Parang ganoon na dating. So, I leave it up to you on how you be, expressing yourself na dito. Okay? So, sa mga personality nyo. Alam nyo na ano dapat yung gawin at hindi yung dapat gawin. So, showing a very good example is si iExpert. Tignan mo, lahat ng detalye niya, kompleto. Everything from top to bottom, kompleto lahat ng details, including yung kanyang mga portfolio section na nagpapatunay na siya ay isang licensed ophthalmologist. Pinakita niya lahat ng mga posibleng hingiin pa sa kanya ng mga HR. So bakit ko sinabi sa inyo na napapabilis yung buhay dito? Hindi lang buhay nyo. Pati buhay din ng HR napapabilis. Because once you submit all this information to that company, when the HR opens your resume link and sees everything about you, dalawa lang ang pwedeng mangyari niyan. One is, nahuli mo attention, gusto ka niya ngayon kausapin or schedule for the next step, like interview or possibly job offer, or hindi ka nag-fit. Yun yung second. Di ba? Para at least, ang maganda rito, hindi na pabalik-balik, hindi na siya tatawag para sabihin, hello ma'am, meron ka bang evidence na graduate ka na talaga sa school na yan? Can you send me your transcript? Di ba? Can you send me yung mga evidence or yung mga sample skills or sample work mo kasi you are in IT or in graphic design? Di ba? That's yung ibig ko sabihin. Huwag nang pabalik-balik, sayang yung oras. Okay? Time is of the essence, lalo na ngayon. So you put everything there, at least pa nakita ng HR, diretso na kagad sa pagprocess sa inyo. Okay? A lot of you are now thinking, Sir, pag gumawa ako ng resume link at nilagay ko lahat ng information ko dyan, baka naman yung mga data ko nakakalat na sa buong mundo. Baka naman yung mga information ko nakalantad na sa buong internet. The answer is, no. Kaya nga siya tinawag na the most secured resume. Okay? Bakit siya tinawag na most secured resume? Because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings. Follow the screen. Inside your dashboard, when you log in, you can go to your settings. Sa settings mo, to be specific, puntahan mo yung privacy settings. In your privacy settings, you choose the information that you want to show in public. Halimbawa lang you do not want to show your birthday. What do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita yung address mo. What do? Turn it off. Ayaw mo pakita ang inyong references. What do? Turn it off. So lahat na naka-off, hindi lalabas sa public. At sino may control niyan? Kayo lang. O, di ba? Ang maganda pa rito, real-time update yan. Halimbawa, today, you decide not to show your birthday, your address, and references. And then 5 minutes later, you decide, sige, pakita ko na nga birthday ko. Turn it on. Real-time. 5 minutes later, the moment you save your settings, lahat na binigyan mo ng resume link, updated na rin sila real-time. As in real-time. Di ba? Ayos, di ba? Sige, tuloy natin. Tuloy pa natin to. So, reminders ko na lang sa mga late na dumating or kakakinig lang, when you make your resume link, make sure that your profile is interesting and attractive. Okay? Wag OA. Iba yung over naman yun. No? Wag naman ganun. So, make sure it's attractive, it's catchy. Complete all the information, especially your contact details. Kasi sayang naman lahat ng ginawa mo, nahuli mo attention, hindi ka makontak ng HR. So, better make sure nandyan yung mga contact details na updated. Okay? So, yan. So, tapos na tayo sa 2 steps. Last step na lang. Ano yung first step? Recap lang. First step is register. Wala tong bayad. Libre po yan. Second step is for you to complete the information. Yan ang pinaka-logical. And the last step now is for you to submit. So you're now thinking, okay to paano ko gagamitin ngayon yung resume link? Bigyan kita ng iba-ibang paraan. Okay, lahat ito practical application para makarelate kayo. Unang option, pumunta ka sa website ng jobs180.com. That's www.jobs180.com, and that's where you now start to look for companies. Type the companies that you're looking for. Pag may lumabas, edi good. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Okay, huwag din pilitin. Okay? Now, you can also see there a lot of companies, a lot of company logos that you can shop around, you can choose, learn about the company, and if you want to be part of the company, I recommend you submit your resume link kahit na hindi ka pa qualified. Let me repeat what I just said. If you want to be part of an organization, if you want to be part of that company, even if you are not yet qualified, I recommend you give your resume link to that company. Bakit? Imagine, kung ngayong hapon, ngayong araw, nag-submit ka ng resume link sa isang kumpanya na naghahanap ng 3 years experience na aplikante. Wala ka pang 3 years experience. Okay lang. Because nabigay mo na yung resume link mo sa kanya, pagdating ng 2024, siguro naman by that time, meron ka ng 3 years experience, di ba? Kasi nag-work ka na ngayon, by 2021. By 2024, may 3 years experience ka na, pwede ka na ma-qualify dun sa position in-applyan mo. And you never know. That company might just contact you later on, provided that your details are still updated. So you have to update those information real time. Ayos ba? Ayos, di ba? Wala nang pabalik-balik. Hindi mo na kailangan magbalik-balik dun sa kumpanya para sabihin, nag-apply po ko sa inyo last year. Ako po yung OJT nyo 3 months ago. Wala nang ganun. Okay? Another practical application. When you submit your resumes through email, how do you do that? Madalas, ito ginagawa natin. Mag-email tayo, sasabihin natin, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position and this is my resume. Ano gagawin nyo? I-attach mo yung Word file mo or PDF file mo. Tama? If that is how you're doing it, wag mo nang gawin yon. Wag ka na mag-attach ng anything sa email. Pampabagal lang yan, tsaka makaluma na yung style na yan. Bakit ko sinabi yon? Kasi hindi mo na kailangan talaga mag-attach ng anything. Ang gagawin mo, i-type mo na lang doon sa email mo yung resume link mo. Example, Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position. And this is my resume. In this example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz, 01.jobs180.com. That's it. Submit. I look forward to your information soon. Thank you. Send. Every time meron kang babaguhin sa details mo, hindi mo na kailangan padalhan yung HR. Kasi kung ginagamit mo mga attachment, ang kulit niyan ang kulit, saka nakapagod. Ano gagawin mo pag nagbago ka ng phone number? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated resume. Mamaya-maya, 2 weeks later, nagpalit ka ng phone number. Ano gagawin mo? Dear HR Manager, this is now my updated, most recent resume. O di ba? Every time meron kang babaguhin, padala ka na padala doon sa HR. Nakakapagod yan, hindi lang sa part nyo, kundi sa part din namin sa mga HR to keep track which one yung pinaka-updated na details. So this time, wala na kailangan. Palit-palit na lang kayo ng details nyo, update-update na lang sa loob ng resume link. Ayos ba? Ayos pa. Okay, tuloy pa natin to. Okay? If you want to print your resume, this is now the good news. You can now print your resume link. No matter how much information you have, the system will try to compress everything into one page. So kung gusto mo talaga mag-print ng papel at mag-submit sa mga kumpanya, walang kaso. Pumunta ka lang sa dashboard mo, hanapin mo yung print na option at mamili ka kung 1 column or 2 column version ang gusto mo i-print. What the system will do is it will try to compress everything into one page para tipid na. O, di ba? Now, usapang tipid. Ito mas tipid pa. Gusto mo mag-print ng resume pero gusto mo magtipid. Itong gawin mo. Gumawa ka ng resume link card. Ano tong resume link card? Sa isang pirasong long bond or short bond paper, mag-design ka ng maraming resume link card. No? Maliliit lang, parang business card na dating. In one piece of paper, I think you can make 10, 20 sets of cards. Depende sa size ng papel mo. At ang importante na ilagay mo dyan sa resume link card mo ay syempre ang inyong resume link. Diba? So, hindi mo na kailangan ilagay lahat ng details mo sa resume sa loob ng maliit na papel. Lagay mo lang resume link mo. And that is what you now give to the companies when you start applying. Look at the picture I'm showing you. Diba? Tipid. Hindi lang tipid. Secured pa. Tingnan nyo. If you submit yung big paper resume nyo, long bond paper, sinubmit mo sa isang kumpanya, nag-apply ka. For some reason, nilipad ng hangin. Yung nakapulot ng papel na yan, alam na buong detalye mo because everything is in that one-page printout. Now, if you lose that small piece of paper, don't worry. Meron kang peace of mind. Bakit? Yung mga kapulot niyan, limited sa privacy settings mo because you have the ultimate control over your privacy settings kahit na i-type niya yan sa browser. Okay? So, ang recommend ko rin sa mga nakikinig, use the gadget. Take advantage of the technology. Use your gadget, your laptop, your cell phone, your tablet, kung ano man. Okay? Para ngayon kasi, this day and age, technology na ang gamitin natin. Kung mano-mano pa rin kayo, wala kayong gadget, okay lang. Huwag kayong malungkot. You can still submit to the companies by just simply writing the resume link on a piece of paper. As simple as that. Okay? So, again, sa mga nagtatanong, ano yung mga guidelines ko para makagawa ako ng job-winning resume? Ito yung guideline ko. Ito yung checklist ko. Are you using the right tool? That's the ultimate question. There are so many tools right now, but these are the things that you should consider when you make your resume. And that is the resume link. It already addresses the following. Number 1, security ng information mo. I hope by this time, you have peace of mind. Ito na ang pinaka-secured na information because you have the ultimate control over your privacy setting. Pangalawa, the speed of hire becomes faster. It becomes more efficient because whatever you need, whatever the HR needs, you can already put it inside the resume link. Another thing is that it's flexible. If you want to print, just in case lang gusto mo talaga mag-print ng resume nyo, you have the option to print it. And you don't have to worry about saan ko sinave yung file na yan, saan ko tinago, wala nang ganun. Just log into your account and print. Mamili ka lang kung 1 column or 2 column version. At higit sa lahat, wala po itong bayad. Tipid po ito. Walang bayad. Okay? Ang kailangan mo lang, of course, internet. Sa mga nag-iisip sa inyo, sir, kailangan ko ng pan-data, pwede ka naman makakonect sa internet na walang data eh. Punta ka sa libreng wifi. Di ba? Baka yung kapitbahay nyo may libreng wifi, o makagamit ka muna. Later on, pag may trabaho ka na, may sweldo na, bayaran mo yung wifi niya. O, di ba? Bawi-bawi lang yan. No? Give and take. And there are a lot more benefits to just what I've mentioned. Marami pang iba. You can share your resume link to whatever platform you want to share it to. Gusto mo i-text? Gusto mo siya i-private message? Gusto mo i-send via Viber? Kayo bahala. Pwede mo i-share. Basta kayo may control. Ganun lang kasimple. No? Kung hindi mo ito binigay sa kahit kanino, hindi malalaman to nung taong yon. And you don't have to save it to whatever USBs or hard drive. No need na. Wala rin tong mga tipong version na kailangan pang mag-compatible. Walang ganun. Lahat ito compatible. Pwede lahat. Okay? So, shout out na lang ako. Shout out to all our school partners. By the grace of God, right now, we have about 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide, including your alma mater. So, thank you. We're very thankful for this opportunity that we're able to do this kahit tayo nasa loob ng bahay, kahit kayo ay nasa loob ng bahay. So, hindi tayo physically nagpe-present, pero nakakatulong pa rin tayo. Especially if you have friends or relatives whom you think would need this tool, please share this to them. Okay? Sa mga nagtatanong naman ng mga frequently asked questions, sasagutin ko na. Ito kasi yung mga common questions na kadalasan tinatanong sa akin. Ang tanong, can I give my resume link to companies who do not know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. It depends kung sino ang bibigyan mo. Ikaw may ultimate control niyan. Okay? Pangalawang question, is this the same as other job platform like LinkedIn, JobStreet, iba pang mga job site? The answer is no. Meron tong dalawang major difference. Yes. Lalo na pagdating sa security. Okay. Of course, explain lang ako Okay. With respect to the other sites that I've mentioned, let me just use JobStreet as an example para lang mas makarelate, no? Para makarelate. You can only use JobStreet resume if you're applying to companies who are also using JobStreet. If you're applying to a company who is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. With your resume link, you can use this to any type of company, any platform, wherever they are. Kahit sa loob ng Pilipinas or sa labas ng Pilipinas, pwede mong applyan. Kahit hindi niya alam ang Jobs 180, basta alam niya ang resume link mo, pwede niya mabuksan ang profile at makita according to your settings. That's the first difference. Pangalawang difference, kung nabigay mo na, kung na-submit mo na ang JobStreet resume mo sa isang company, wala ka nang pwedeng baguhin. Lahat ng data mo nandun na yan sa HR. Yes. Hindi na magbabago yan real time. With your resume link, na-submit mo today, mali pala number mo, na-submit mo today, mali pala yung spelling mo, you can always edit it. Enter, save it. Real-time update. Lahat ng bigyan mo ng resume link, updated real-time. Ayos? Okay, tuloy tayo sa number 3 question. Number 3 question is the easiest question. Ang tanong dito is, can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time, na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na platform. Okay? That's the reason why I'm sharing this to you. Okay? Number 4, I think this is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? Ang sagot dito, hindi araw-araw, hindi linggo-linggo, hindi buwan-buwan, hindi taon-taon. Ang sagot dito ay every time. Every time na meron kayong babaguhin, lalo na ang contact details nyo. Yan ang importante. You have to update your contact details every time na meron kayong papalitan doon. Kasi yan yung paraan para makontak kayo ng mga companies. And the last question is just a trivia. Why is this called jobs180.com? This is called jobs180.com because we want to turn your life around. Yan, 'di ba? 180 degrees. Hindi siya 360. Kasi kung 360, bumalik ka lang kung saan ka galing. Edi balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang, balik-balik ka lang. Di wala nangyari. 'Di ba? So you have to do it 180 degrees. It's a straight line towards your career goal. Okay? Just in case may tanong pa kayo, nahiya magtanong, pumunta lang kayo sa website namin, sa jobs180.com or email me here sa info@jobs180.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram para makakuha kayo ng mga latest trends in recruitment. Okay? Again, my name is Kim Chu Wa. Don't forget yung Wa. Okay? Baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo. Na nagsasabing, be safe at isang magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Thank you.
All right. So thank you for that, Sir Kim. Hi, Miss Joyce. And so let us hear it from the second speaker. So our second speaker will be discussing developing work ethics. So she is Ms. Sheena Aguilar de Jesus, the recruitment head for CDO Food Sphere. So Ms. Sheena has over a decade of HR experience, specializing in recruitment across various industries. And currently, she's the recruitment section head for CDO Food Sphere. And she's responsible for developing and executing robust strategies and programs that would provide the organization with the most qualified talents. So she graduated from the De La Salle College of St. Benilde with a degree in BSBA, Human Resource Management, and also earned her MBA from Ateneo Graduate School of Business. So to hear from Ms. Sheena De Jesus, she will be discussing developing work ethics. We'd also like you guys to reserve your questions for her at the end of our presentation para dun tayo mag-Q&A along with Sir Kim. So, sama-sama tayo dun lahat. Alright? So, Ms. Sheena, if you're ready, the screen is yours. Take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, I'm here to discuss about developing a strong work ethic. So, let me start first with defining what ethic means. So, it is a set of moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. Another definition that I saw online is it's the discipline of dealing with what is good and bad and with moral duty and obligation. So these definitions came from Oxford Languages and Merriam-Webster. So if we are going to use these definitions to and um, and relating it to work, so work ethic naman is an attitude of determination and dedication toward one's job. So those with strong work ethic place a high value on their professional success. Given that your work or role has been entrusted to you, you know that the right thing to do is for you to make sure that you have to fulfill the duties assigned to you. So usually yun lang naman yung in layman's term or in simple terms, yun yung definition ng having a strong work ethic. Yun. So next, why do we need to develop a strong work ethic? So, bakit natin kailangan magkaroon ng strong work ethic? So, number one, it increases your employability. So, employability naman means um, mas maraming employers ang mas gustong may i-hire kayo. So, yun naman yung ibig sabihin ng employability. So, employers look for this attitude when hiring a candidate. So, more than the skills, employers look for attitude. So sabi nga nila, mas madaling ituro ang skills kesa sa work ethic. As an aspiring employee, if ever, you can share experiences in school or work that can showcase your dependability or accountability. A good example maybe for this one is pwede niyong sabihin na I led a group of students in a certain project and we were able to submit it ahead of time. So, doon mas nakikita yung what kind of attitude you have towards your work or ano yung mga responsibilities mo. Okay, so number two, it provides career development advantage. So, if ever na you already have a work, ganyan, or you already have a job, um, mas tumataas yung probability na magkaroon kayo ng career development or promotion or advantages at work. So, leaders are able to assess who among the team is capable to handle more projects and higher role. So always remember that the key for growth is your ability to be entrusted with the completion of your tasks. So, mas pagkakatiwalaan tayo sa mga mas malalaking bagay kung naide-deliver natin yung mga maliliit na bagay. So, halimbawa, kung puro late ka or kung hindi ka nakakapag-submit on time, paano tayo pagkakatiwalaan na mag-handle ng isang team or mga mas complex na bagay? So, yun. So, number three naman, ability to help yourself and colleagues. With your work ethic, you're able to ease your boss or team's burden or heavy workload. You're able to add value to the company instead of being a burden to them or being pabigat, quote unquote, no? So, siyempre, when we have a strong work ethic, ibig sabihin nito, we are dedicating ourselves dun sa trabaho na meron tayo. So definitely, if we are 100% na ginagawa natin yung best natin sa work natin, definitely, magre-result to sa magandang, mag-lead to sa mga positive results. So, yun. Okay. Let's proceed naman to how to develop a strong work ethic. Okay, so let's go back again to the definition. So work ethic is an attitude of determination and dedication toward one's job. So how do we develop that determination and dedication? So I have 6 points for this. Actually, I have a very short presentation lang this afternoon. So yon, number 1, set a career goal. So create a vision for yourself professionally and make sure your actions will direct you to your career goal. So, for example, you want to be promoted to a supervisory role in 3 to 5 years. Of course, you will align with your superior how to get there. Kasi syempre, your superior is the one assessing you or measuring your skills based on career plans for you. So, what particular accomplishments or skills you need to bring in for you to be able to be a supervisor in the future. Parang ganun yung kailangan na alignment with your superior. Parang, for example, do I need to be more fluent sa pag-speak ng English or kailangan ko bang mas magaling in terms of generating ng mga reports or do I need to learn how to motivate my team? So yun yung mga particular alignments that you can have with your superior. Number 2, prioritize your deliverables at school or work. So, be punctual and refrain from unauthorized absences so you can complete your tasks. So, if you have deliverables or deadlines, for sure you will be punctual and present at work in order for you to fulfill your tasks. So, number 3, in connection to that naman, to number 2 bullet, use your time wisely. So, avoid distractions and plan your day ahead of time. So in this day and the age, there are a lot of temptations that can derail you from accomplishing your responsibilities. Like Netflix, Facebook, or even online games. So minsan nga actually kahit oras ng trabaho, nakaka-tempt gumawa ng mga personal na bagay. So we have to be deliberate, we have to set a timeline or to-do list per day so we can see the progress in doing our tasks. Ayun. Next, number 4, continue to learn. So, attend trainings or classes on how to be better at school or work. So, if you learn better ways to do a job, you'll be more efficient and effective in fulfilling your role. So in companies, you'll always hear the terms process improvement or innovations because the goal is always achieving more or better results regardless of your position in any industry. So actually, that's the general rule naman for everyone eh. Alam mo yun, strive to be better talaga. So in order to do so, we have to continue learning. So attend seminars like this or training programs. So ang dami na rin talagang available na materials online and other channels. So for example, you create a report manually, pero you've learned from a training or a seminar na you can automate that report pala, na you can generate it quickly. So, dahil less na yung time na ginamit mo in creating that report, you have more time doing other things. So, mas nagiging efficient ka and nag improve din yung ways of working nyo in the company or with your team. So yon, number 5, show your gratitude to your employee and colleagues. Ayan, someone else could be holding your position in the organization. So, show your gratitude by doing your best at all times. So, ayun. So, what you have with your employer is a give and take relationship. So, that's ano naman, that's a reality. There's a purpose why you're in that place having that role. So, you give something like yung work mo, your service, your skills, and you benefit from doing so through usually salary or other benefits. So always do your best as a sign of your gratitude for being in that position. Ayan. So last, on how to develop a strong work ethic, so strive to be healthy. Sabihin nyo ano kinalaman ng health in developing a strong work ethic. So, performing at your best will require you to be healthy both physically and mentally. So, yon. So, having work ethic will entail you to do your best at all times, as mentioned a while ago. So, if may sakit ka or wala kang energy, hindi natin mabibigay yung best natin. So we should invest in ourselves through healthy eating or exercise, yun yung sa physical aspect. Prayer and meditation naman for the mental aspect and other materials then online. So I hope you got something from the things I've discussed. So now I'd like to introduce to you the company where I work. So CDO Food Sphere, we are a food manufacturing company. We are based in Valenzuela City. We also have a manufacturing plant in Malvar, Batangas. So we have been in the industry for 45 years. CDO, by the way, stands for Corazon Dairoong. That's the name of our founder. So, yon. So, a delicious story of success. So, from a simple dream of providing food for her family, the CDO story has turned into a lifelong commitment of providing Filipinos with high quality and affordable products. So our mission is we champion meal times through food that calls them home. We live to bring them freshness and delight of mom-made cooking that fills their hearts. Our vision, we will be the most trusted food company, loved for how our food creations bring and bond all generations of people together. Okay. Our values, we are passionate about customers and consumers. We have love for God. So usually we have first Wednesday Mass every month. We also include yon mga prayer, opening prayers usually in our events. So yon. So we have integrity also, number 3. Number 4, we are open and collaborative, and we are innovative and entrepreneurial. So we always have programs wherein we encourage our employees to come up with new ideas. So on how we can improve our ways of working better. So here are some of our products. So we have frozen meat, we have hot dogs and sausages. Yan, mga Bibo, Idol, Highlands. We also have chicken nuggets, Barn. Yan, most recently, dahil December, meron kami yung mga holiday ham, hamon de bola. We also have ulam burger and mga fantastic tocino and longanisa. We also have canned meat. So these are Highlands corned beef, carne norte, luncheon meat, beef loaf. We also have San Marino tuna, and mackerel. We also have dairy products like cheese. So if you're familiar with cheese with bacon, so that's our product as well. We have cheese balls and sweet preserves. So aside from the mainstream business of CDO, like yung previous slide na mention, we also have our Odyssey Foundation as our arm for to reach out to other communities. So the Odyssey Foundation is guided by 5 pillars. So one is Gabay Nutrition. It's a supplemental feeding program to malnourished children. Gabay Edukasyon, it helps provide the needed resources to existing institutions. Gabay Kalikasan aims to bring back green into our surroundings. So, we usually have tree planting or yung mga clean-up drives in different areas. We also have Gabay Hanap Buhay. So we conduct livelihood programs on meat processing for mothers. So we specifically mentioned their meat processing and for mothers because yon, our founder is a mom and our business is mainly meat processing. So that's what we share to our to different communities. And Gabay Lingkod, so it's the response to the various needs of the community. So for example, Taal eruption, we would be providing help in that or yung mga Ulysses or nitong pandemic also we would be extending our help to different communities or affected areas. Okay, so we are a company also that puts values on how we can impact our environment. So we have sustainability efforts like wastewater treatment, some recycling efforts, use of solar energy, and reduction of plastic usage. Okay. Sige. So actually, that's it for my presentation. So if you would want to get in touch with us, here are our contact information. So careers@cdo.com.ph. We have our Facebook page. We have our website. And if you are interested to apply, please visit our page at jobs180.com/cdo. So thank you everyone again and stay safe.
All right, so thank you for that, Ms. Sheena. So that presentation was from CDO Food Sphere. Now to discuss personality development, we have Ms. Kat Herrera from ADP Philippines. She is the HR business partner. Ms. Kat has been with ADP for 9 years and 5 months. She is currently an HR business partner, but also has a decade of experience in training and development. Her most notable achievement career-wise is her certification in New Jersey to facilitate MDP or Management Development Program. So Miss Kat was married in Istanbul to her Turkish husband in 2017. She is an animal advocate and has 4 beautiful dogs. So let's hear it from Miss Kat Herrera to discuss personality development. And again, may I remind you guys that you can ask them questions. So we are reserving our Q&A at the last part of this session. Okay, so just put it in our comment box. All right, see you later.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, or as we say in Turkish, iyi günler, or good day. Thank you for inviting us here. My name is Kat Herrera, and I'm one of the HR business partners at ADP Philippines. Based on the introduction, you already know I've been with ADP for almost a decade, and on top of that, I have under my belt 10 years as well, or more than a decade of experience in the talent and learning and leadership development sphere or world. You might be wondering, what is an HR business partner or what does ADP do? Well, before I start with my piece on communication skills, I'm going to tell you very briefly what we are and what we do. So, ADP is one of the world's largest providers of business outsourcing solutions. We're a human capital management company, and mostly we deal with our clients' HR services. So we were established in 1949. That's a long time. And as you can see, ADP is a very stable company. The founder was Henry Taub, and the headquarters was in Roseland, New Jersey. This is where I was in 2014. I was very fortunate enough that the company sent me there to undergo the MDP, or the Management Development Program certification. And I was in awe. I was really in awe. One of the highlights of my career was going to the headquarters in New Jersey. Now, our brand narrative is very simple. We are a combination of thinkers and doers. From local businesses to global corporations, ADP develops advanced and sophisticated systems. So we're not only an HCM or a human capital management company, we also focus on tools and technology, because we know, especially in this world, technology is a critical thing to have in a company for us to succeed and for us to stay current and not get left behind. We reinforce our relentless determination to rethink a better, more personalized world at work so everyone can achieve their full potential. And we are always designing for people. But do not get confused, guys, because ADP does not stand for always designing for people. Always designing for people is our logo, but ADP means automatic data processing. That's who we are as a brand. When I talk about HCM, you might still wonder, what is HCM anyway? We're not so familiar with that. It just means that we take care of of services for our clients from from recruitment to retirement. We handle payroll, taxes, timekeeping and attendance. We also do the benefits system, IT, and compliance. So in a nutshell, we stand as the HR for our ADP clients. And the mission really is to power organizations with insightful solutions that drive business success. And the vision would be to be the world's authority on helping organizations focus on what matters. We want to make it easier for our clients, and we take on the grunt work, so to speak, so that they can focus on really the big picture for their businesses, which is to grow, right? Why choose ADP? We offer three things that are critical for a company. We offer growth, stability, and culture. We all know that times are different now. We're living in challenging times and unprecedented times. But still, even when the pandemic started last year, ADP was still able to exhibit growth, stability, and of course, we never ever forgot the culture that we have established, especially here in the Philippines. And we will talk about that later on. For the details or fun facts from us, we spent more than $818 million in research and development alone. What does that mean? ADP is invested on its people. 60% was invested in innovation, and there are innovation labs in New York, New Jersey, California, and India. I hope I'm not going too fast because I just want to maximize the time, but later on I assure you that we're going to have time for Q&A. We are the industry leaders. How do we exhibit that? We have 37 million workers in the US who are being paid by ADP. So one in six employees would be paid by ADP, and 13 million elsewhere. We also have more than 10 million workers plus 5 million dependents administered benefits. And only in 2020, we have moved, imagine this number, 2.2 or more than 2.2 trillion US client funds. That is huge. We're also considered as the number one app for human resources, and we have more than 18 million mobile app subscribers. We also have more than 90.8% of annual client retention, and average tenure for our clients is 10 years, which means that they're very loyal to us. Because ADP is not the cheapest, but we do pride ourselves in being one of the best in payroll and HR. So our clients stay with us for no less than 10 years. We have 860,000 over clients worldwide, and over 75% of those clients are in the Fortune 500 companies. I'm sure that you know what Fortune 500 is. But not only do we have Fortune 500 clients, over 80% of them are Fortune 100 companies. So if this does not display growth and stability for you, then I don't know what would, right? We have also 140 countries that we are serving, and we have 50 or more than 58,000 clients or associates rather worldwide. And 30 languages are spoken to provide service and support. So we are indeed worldwide. Financial stability, we move on then to stability and resources. We are considered double A, or we have been rated double A by Moody's S&P. What is that? It's a rating body and in the US, and it just means that really ADP is a reliable company because we have minimal long-term debt, which means that investors bank on us being able to pay off the minimal debt, long-term debt, and not only that, to sustain the business. So we're not going to go bankrupt even if there are unforeseen factors or like the pandemic that happened last year. Since 1974, dividends have been paid to shareholder continuously, and we had just again in 2020 there was a revenue of $14.6 billion. Just do the math and compute that, and you would know how much that is in pesos. We are not only after revenue, though. We are definitely very big on our values, and we have demonstrated this time and time again. When the pandemic started, definitely we have displayed and exhibited each person counts because we made sure at the start of pandemic we even provided hotel accommodations and shuttle services to our employees. But because their health is of paramount importance, then we made sure that everybody transitioned to working from working to the office to working at home. We really take care of our employees. We believe that integrity is everything. We also bank on insightful expertise, service excellence, inspiring innovation. We are results driven. And one fact that I'm very proud of, we are very responsible socially. We have a lot of partnerships with nonprofit organizations, and we make sure that we always give back to our community. That's it for the core values, but I also want to share with you some of our awards that we've gotten in the most recent years. We are, of course, part of the Fortune World's Most Admired Companies in 2021, this year. It's very recent. And all of those, like for LGBT, we are very big on equality, and we make sure that we are also diverse. Everybody is welcome at ADP. That's why we also want to strengthen our ties with our school partnerships, because other companies might say, I need 2 years of experience, I need 3 years, and so on. But for us, we believe that we would like to encourage fresh graduates to apply because we want to be a part of your growth. We want to be a part of your career journey. So we would like to give you that experience that other companies are always looking for. Now, before we go on, that's the end of my presentation. I told you it was going to be very brief about the company. And again, if you have questions, you can park that for later. So now we go to the great stuff, which is communication skills, because as students, I know that you might be a bit apprehensive about your interviews and your resume building, but those have already been talked about earlier. Now we need to make sure that you have the proper skills, that you are ready when you apply for a job. And communication skills is one of the most important tools that you will have, not only when applying, but throughout your entire career. Because let me tell you, knowledge and technical skills would only get you so far. You would always need communication skills to back it up, not only to get hired, but also to get further ahead, to get promoted, or maybe to get to a different function or business unit. And for communication skills today, we're going to talk about the ways to communicate more effectively. And of course, I want you to focus on the practical steps to level up your communication skills. I'm sure that you've seen the four communication skills already in your time at school. You have your thinking, listening, speaking, and the nonverbal. One would be or one is equally as important as the other. You can't say that, oh, hey, Kat, I'm going to focus on my thinking skills for now. No, all of those should work hand in hand. You have to apply critical thinking, and then you have to know how to put that in words. But then you also have to listen attentively to make sure that you didn't forget anything or to make sure that you understood what the question was. And for nonverbal, we all know this is very important with whatever communication you're in, be it face to face or be it online. Now, with online learning, online interviews, things are pretty much the same. The only thing is that you're not in front of your interviewer in person, right? But they would still be able to see you because we have a lot of tools for that. So, nonverbal is still equally as important now, even before, right? Now that we're talking about the communication skills, you might be wondering, why should I even pay attention to this? Or why should I invest time making sure that I hone my communication skills? Well, these are some of the benefits and these are some of the factors. As you can see, if you have great communication skills, you would also be quick in problem solving because if you did not understand, if you only heard, there's a very big difference between hearing and listening because hearing would just be you processing the sounds. But if you understood the meaning, then you can definitely say that you listened very well. And one thing when it comes to active listening, I would stress we have to practice the art of listening not to reply, but listen to understand. I know most of the time you have a lot of distractions. It always happens. And we're focused on listening, but only because we want to make sure that we are able to reply appropriately. But what happens when you're too focused on what you want to say next? You might be missing what the interviewer is saying, and you might misinterpret it or interpret it in a different way. So really focus on the interviewer. Do not just take keywords and then assume what they mean. Really focus, pay attention, and listen attentively because that's how you would be quick in problem solving. That's how you would be able to give the right responses and the appropriate answers during the interview. Strong decision making, absolutely. If you are not at par or if your communication skills is subpar, let's say, then definitely that would affect your decision making because you wouldn't have understood the problem. Not only that, you would not be able to communicate effectively with the people in your team or with your supervisors. Other than that, you also have productivity. Yes, because if you again lack in this department, then definitely you would have problems with other metrics such as average handling time when taking in calls, right? And first call resolution, quality, especially customer satisfaction. We're very big on that in the BP or KPO industry. You also would display consistency in the workflow. If you have great communication skills, you would definitely build strong relationships. Because you know what? If you are a great speaker, you would have a fabulous reputation. People would admire you. People would look up to you. And thus, you are able to build your network, right? You have better control of everything in your surroundings. Yes, be it personally at home or at work. Definitely, you'd have better control if you can communicate it better. And of course, with the skill, like I mentioned earlier, people would respect you. So you would build an advanced professional image. People would think of you when somebody needs someone who can speak in front of the audience, they will definitely think of you first. And that would build your reputation. Better response from all stakeholders? Yes, because if you have great communication skills, people would trust you. The clients would trust you. And that is very critical in this business. If the client doesn't trust you, then they would not listen to any advice coming from you. Even if you know everything, if the client doesn't believe you, then all that's going to be for naught. it's for nothing. So this is why we have to make sure that we build on your communication skills as early as when you are studying, right? It cannot be just when you're about to enter the workplace. So let's see the practical steps, like I mentioned earlier, on how to communicate effectively. It all starts with listening, not only attentively, because that's what we always say, but you also have to listen with empathy. Not only do you have to listen to understand, you actually have to display some empathy and think about the situation and put yourself in the other person's shoes. I'm sure you've always heard of that. But really, trust me, it is very, very effective, especially in the workplace. If somebody calls in and they're already very upset, they're already asking for a supervisor, the tendency is if you are a newbie, you somehow get flustered, you somehow get rattled, and you panic. Or you take it personally and you react like, hey, you become defensive. Why is this person shouting at me? I did nothing wrong to him. That's the first thing that you have to understand. It is nothing against you personally, but there are certain factors that you're not able to see, the hidden dimension of the client, so to speak. Maybe they lost a beloved pet. Maybe they're feeling sick that day. Maybe they really stood in line for 4 hours doing the grocery shopping. You don't know. So, what you can do is to pause, process it, and think about what the client might be going through. Think of how inconvenient it was when you had to wait for a representative when you called Smart, PLDT, or Globe. Because that's what probably what the client was feeling. And if you're able to put yourself in their shoes, you'd understand them better, which would make you respond with empathy. It would make you be more patient. It would make you be more willing to help. And when you do that, then you're able to calm and appease the client. You just don't go head to head, but actually you're able to make them cooperate and make them participate and listen to you so that you'll have a more productive conversation and you'll be able to arrive at the resolution of the problem. That's why it is important to listen with empathy. You don't always have to say sorry because it's not your fault. It's not your fault if they had a bad day. But you can display that, hey, I'm sorry that you're going through this, or I really feel bad. I'm sorry for your loss. Right? I cannot imagine. If you haven't been in this situation, you can just say, I can only imagine how tough it is losing a partner or a child, knock on wood, right? So those are the empathy words that you can use instead of just saying, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Because if you say, I'm so sorry to hear that, it's very canned. It's a template and it almost does not add any value if you just say it like that. If you make it personal, if you make it customized, then you can let them know there's an implication there that, hey, I really listen to you and I'm here for you. I will be helping you during this call. That's how you listen with empathy. Once you have listened with empathy, it's always important that you also assert yourself. By assertion, I don't mean aggression. Let's be very clear on that. Aggression is very different, and we do not encourage you to be aggressive. We only want you to assert yourself, meaning that you have to take ownership of each and every call. Take ownership as well if something comes up. If there's a very difficult problem, do not hide behind your tools. Do not just focus on chatting, because most things are better resolved in person. So if there's one thing that you would need to clarify, or if there's a problem that you need to solve, you have to go up to the person. Take the initiative to talk to the person in face to face if possible. If not, then go on video call or video conference. But don't just hide behind your screen or your keyboards. You know who they are, right? The keyboard warriors. Do not be just a keyboard warrior. Be assertive. Know what you want to say. Know every time there's a problem, you always have to come up with at least two options, right? You have to be problem solvers, not just problem bringers. Because if you just bring a problem to your supervisor without any alternative or without any solution, then that defeats the purpose of critical thinking. You have to be able to assert yourself, start up the conversation. You have to also do this when you're networking. It's very critical because every person that you meet at work, you might be able to work with them in the future. So always make sure that you are confident enough to speak up. Because again, even if you have the best of ideas, if you're not able to articulate it, if you're not able to stand up for yourself and say it, then nobody will hear it. Nobody will hear your great ideas, even if you're the next Einstein, right? That's why communication skills are so crucial and important in the workplace. So let's say you've already spoken up. Let's talk about your tone, pitch, volume, clarity, and rate of speech. These are all equally important because you have to adjust and match your tone, volume, and rate of speech based on the person that you're talking to. If, for instance, an old lady comes to you and you take the call, definitely you would not be advised to speak so fast, because for old people, they tend to want you to pace yourself slower. You have to adjust. Make sure that you're not using jargon, especially with technical issues. If they have a problem with their computer, with their cell phone, you have to use the most basic words. There are no need for highfalutin words. You do not need to impress them with your language and vocabulary. All you need to do is stick to basic terms that they would understand. Adjust your tone, your volume, because they might not be able to hear you if they're already very old. And the rate of speech is very important because you have to know that they are able to follow you. Now, when it comes to clarity of your voice is also very important when speaking with clients. You cannot be very timid. This is why confidence is so important, because if you're timid, then the client would hear that from your tone as well. If you do not know what you're saying, if you're not confident, they would hear that. And once they have doubts in their mind, they would not trust you. When they do not trust you, then it would be a very hard hill to climb to go to the resolution, because they would not follow your advice. When it comes to tone and pitch, it's also very important that you do not become monotonous. I know you might say, but I will be receiving so many calls in a day. How do I keep up my enthusiasm each and every call? Well, you have to do it. It's the reality. You might not be able to keep up the energy like, oh, hi, hello, Mr. Smith, every single time. But what you can do, what you can control is your tone and your pitch, your intonation, the rise and fall of your voice. Because just imagine if I came to you today and I sounded like this. Would you be willing to listen to me? Would you even stay on the line? Probably not, right? No, because I would definitely bore you to death, and we do not want that to happen. That's why we always make sure that we insert some liveliness, some energy into the way we talk by using your diction, yes, but also your rise and the fall of your tone, inflection, so to speak. One thing that I would also want to advise you is to be careful of how you use the rising inflection. Because if you always keep using the rising inflection at the end of your sentences, then you would sound as if you're asking questions as opposed to making statements. Oh, what you have to do is turn off the TV. What you have to do, so I would advise you to please reboot your laptop. See, if you always end in the rising tone, then you sound as if it's a question and not a statement. You would not sound credible. So you have to make sure that when you ask questions, you use the what? Not the rising, but the lower inflection, falling intonation. And if you're using your statements, that's the time that you can vary your tone. All right. I hope that everything's still clear, and we are going to continue. Think before you speak. Just a very important reminder is just use those acronyms, THINK. Before you speak, think or ask yourselves these questions. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it important? Is it necessary? And is it kind? Because being a great communicator is not only about knowing how to speak well. It's also about your intention, also about the message that you are delivering. If you are a great communicator, but you always are out to hurt people, then definitely you would lose respect. You do not have to always put people down, even if you're great at speaking. No, use your skill actually to help people out. If it's helpful, if it's necessary, if it's true, if it's kind, then absolutely go ahead and deliver your message or your advice. I hope that you remember this because this is, again, as I said, especially to me, very, very important. I always believe that you should respect everybody that you meet, regardless of their designation, regardless of what they do in life. Keep an open mind. Yes, absolutely. Minds are like parachutes. They function better when they are open. If you are narrow minded, if your mind is closed, then you would not absorb any information. And in any industry, especially in the workplace, you have to be a sponge. You have to be willing to learn. And mind you, during the interviews, this is one of the skills. Being open and willing to learn is one of the things that interviewers are looking for. Even if you're not the best, but if you are displaying the right attitude, the right mindset, then the interviewer would be more likely to want to give you a chance. As opposed to if you're so arrogant and conceited, like, oh, I can do everything. Because let's face it, as newbies, you would not know everything. You would definitely need a mentor. You would definitely need somebody to help you out. And always be open, not only to ideas, but also to feedback. Constructive feedback. When somebody gives you advice, do not think of it as criticism. Think of it as the person caring enough to want for you to improve, right? Because they wouldn't give you feedback if they are not invested in your learning and in your improvement. So keep an open mind when it comes to ideas and feedback. Understand nonverbal cues. It's very, very important, especially for face-to-face interviews, but also when you have your online interviews as well. Nonverbal cues, not only relating to the gestures of your interviewer, but also the tone. Pay attention, especially with your clients. If they say, oh yeah, thank you so much. You've been very helpful. What does the client sound like? They sound sarcastic. And if you say, "Oh, great, I'm glad I was able to help you out," then you're just going to aggravate them further, because the impression there with their tone is that they're telling you you weren't able to help them at all. You really still need to dig deeper and probe even further and ask if there's still anything that you can do to help, because if not, then the client will be left dissatisfied. So pay attention to nonverbal cues, not only from the interviewer, but also from you. If you have mannerisms, if you have tics, make sure that you practice on controlling them. If your hands are shaking during the interview, if you are a nail biter, make sure that you keep your hands on your lap. Make sure that you are aware of whatever nervous tics or mannerisms you have so that you can control it. And one no-no during the interview is to keep your arm crossed, because you come off as defensive and not very open for a conversation, right? Now, adapt your style to the audience is very critical as well. It's just the same with tone and the pace. You also have to adjust your style, because if you are, for instance, talking to an audience of 6-year-olds, then definitely your style would be different than if you are at a medical symposium talking to hospital directors and practitioners, right? That's going to be a totally different ball game. The language that you use, the jokes that you're going to use, even the language that you're going to use would be very different depending on the audience that you have. It's okay to be not so formal, but you also have to make sure that you remain professional at all times, because you never know. A joke might be funny to you, but it might be offensive to other people. So make sure that prior to your speech, you're able to know the audience that you are talking to. So how does that translate to your interviews? This is one very, very, very critical reminder, because I always encounter this, and it is a no-no. Make sure that you do your due diligence before your interviews, right? Because if an applicant says or tells me, you know what, Kat, I don't really know what ADP is. I don't really know what you guys do. That's already a red flag to me, because it means that the applicant was not invested enough to research on the company. And nowadays, with all the tools that we have, there is no excuse anymore not to know your future employer. So do your research. Let them know that you are very, very committed, that you have done your part, that you know them, and you think that your values are aligned, and that you really want to work for the company. That's how you adjust your style to the audience that you're talking to, and you have to learn to adapt at all times. That's what we do. Especially in the BPO KPO industry, change is always going to be there, and you have to make sure that you are very flexible in terms of talking to people, yes, and adjusting your mindset as well. All right. Confidence is key. What you're seeing here, look in front of the mirror, tell yourself that you're a superstar, because you know what? If you feel good, then you're able to talk to people easier, right? You're able to see them as equals and not somebody that you have to fear. You're not nervous when you go up there in front of everybody. When you know that you are great, or when you feel that you can do things, then when your confidence is very, very high, you become a great communicator. Not only that, you're able to persuade people. You're able to change mindsets. You're able to deliver your message and deliver the best possible solution to your client. And trust me, you can be your worst enemy. I know how critical you guys are, but why be your worst enemy when you can be your best cheerleader, right? Nobody's going to do it for you. You should be your number one fan. You should know your skills. I'm not saying to be arrogant. I'm not saying to be conceited, but you should definitely know your worth, know your value, and exhibit that. Just make sure that you can back it up, because I am not a believer of fake it till you make it. Nope. Let's not do that. Do not fake it till you make it. But you know what you can do? Practice till you make it. Practice till you make it. That's what sets the masters, the experts apart, right? Because they, of course, they would have errors. They've committed mistakes along the way. But what do? They always get up. They try, and then they practice, hone their skills, and become the experts in their field. That's how you should develop your confidence. So once again, I want you to say it with me. Do not fake it till you make it. Practice till you make it. All right. So, how do you level up your communication skills? You just observe good communicators around you, find a mentor if you can, find somebody who speaks so well, and try to do what they're doing, or at least try to get some pointers from them. Like I said earlier, feedback is very, very important. You wouldn't know. Sometimes we have blind spots. Sometimes we cannot see what we lack. So we have to rely on other people to tell us that. Attend communication skills if you can, especially nowadays. You have a lot of time, and there's a wealth of knowledge out there. There's a wealth of available free resources. Take advantage of that, guys, because that's one thing that we didn't have in our time. Well, I'm not ancient. I'm only 35, but still, nowadays, you can have anything at the tip of your fingertips, and you should definitely take advantage of that. Seek opportunities to communicate. Do not be hermits. Do not be shy. Do not shy away from conversation, because the only way that you can improve is to practice and to do it. Make sure that you take advantage, even if you're with your friends, your family members, always speak in English. And then, lo and behold, you would definitely improve your communication skills, because you know what? I wasn't born speaking like this. When I was 3 years old, I tell you, they always say, "Hey, Kat, you're speaking in Carabao English." But you know what? It was understandable because I was 3. I was 3 and I was already trying to speak the language. So if you are really, really determined to develop your communication skills, the key is to always speak in English every single day. You can also watch English movies and TV shows as opposed to Tagalog teleseries. You can definitely read out loud to practice your diction and your pronunciation. Speak in front of the mirror. Look at yourself while speaking, but always remember that practice is key. So speak to anyone that you know in English. Do not be afraid of them telling you, "Hey, you're konyo." It doesn't matter. If they don't want to do it, that's fine. You respect their opinion. But who would improve their communication skills? Definitely you, if not them. So it's a great win for you, right? Practice is the key. So now that we've talked about the skills, practical ways to improve and level up your confidence and your communication skills, I want to leave you with this. Communication, the human connection, is the key to personal and career success. Without communication, you wouldn't be able to form those connections that you need, and not only in your personal life, but also in your business life. Because once again, you cannot do it alone. You need people, and what you do is to connect with them on a personal level, not just on a business level. Once you build your connections, you become their friend, you become their ally, you become their family, and so they're gonna be willing to help you more in the future. And if you choose the right people, then you will just prop yourself up for success together with them. So I leave you with that, and I hope that you were able to learn some tips and tricks so that you'll become better communicators. Thank you once again. Thank you, everybody.
All right, so thank you for that, ma'am. So let's move on to the Q&A portion. So, andyan na po ba Sir Kim? Hi, Sir Kim.
Hello, hello.
Ayan.
Excited.
So, okay, guys, may time pa. Pwede pa kayong mag-comment ha para masagot natin lahat ng inyong questions. Andito si Sir Kim to answer all those questions. And unfortunately, hindi na available yung ating unang speakers, si Shina and um,
Si Ma'am Kat.
Ma'am
Si
Kat.
Ma'am
So,
Tina,
si
Ma'am
Sir
Kat. Di
Kim
ba,
po,
akong sasagot para sa kanila.
okay. So, Sir Kim, habang naghihintay tayo ng questions from our audience, hello
Yes.
Lucy and hello DFCAM, sobrang dami nating audience today, Sir Kim. So, question po ay, why is it important to have a resume link nowadays, especially now that everything has done online, from looking for a job,
Right.
to virtual interview, up to getting hired online, and even having work at home?
Why is it important to have a resume link nowadays? Well, number one, the resume link naman doesn't mean that if you're creating a resume link means you're looking for a job. Na yan yung common misconception kasi nangyayari na bakit ako gagawa ng resume link? Hindi naman ako naghahanap ng trabaho eh. Ayan, para to shout out sa mga sa mga may trabaho na. Okay, sa mga may work na. They're probably thinking, I don't need one because I have work right now. So the point of having a resume link is that number one, meron kang sarili mong profile or portfolio that you can save keep. I want to emphasize on the word safe keep because the information that you're storing, depende yan kung saan mo nilalagay. Sa panahon dati, no, ng mga wala pang technology, we put it on, of course, a piece of paper, at papel, naka-folder. No? Tanungin nyo mga lolo't lola nyo, o tito-tita nyo, no? Mga panahon na yan. Nagkakalaman na edad. So, dyan nilalagay yan. Diba? Tapos, that sinasubmit sa mga kumpanya pag kinakailangan. Or kapag may hiningi sa atin, yung mga certain companies, example, the school will invite you to do a talk. Baka successful alumni kayo later on, sabihin ng taga-UC administration or taga-DFCAMC na administration, sabihin, can they invite you to grace the event as a, to share some experiences? Ano mangyayari? Siyempre may kailangan kayong ibigay for introduction, di ba? Para makita nila ano yung mga pinagagagawa nyo in the past years. And that's where you normally refer to etong material na ito. And moving forward, because of the advent of technology, nagkaroon ng soft copy. Soft copy sa nilalagay. Nilalagay yan sa USB, sa hard drive, sa cellphone, diba? Sa laptop, sa PC, kung saan man natin nilalagay. But then again, it's also not really very secured in the sense that pwede siyang mawala or pwede siyang ma-misplace at hindi mo na alam alin yung updated kasi ang dami mong files na na-update. And that is where the tool came about. Ito yung reason why the resume link is very important because right now, you want everything to be consolidated at the same time, very, very handy and efficient to use. Tapos, best of all, secured. Yan yung key part dyan, secured. Kasi kayo ang may control anong information na lalabas nyo or tatago nyo sa public. Diba? So, yan yung reason why I encourage everyone who's listening right now, whether may trabaho tayo or walang trabaho, nag-aaral pa tayo, or nasa intern, nag-explore na internship, or maybe grade 12 pa lang. Iba sa inyo, nakikinig, baka senior high school pa lang. Isip nyo, ang tagal-tagal pa niyan, di pa ako mag-aat ng trabaho, 4 years pa from now. Don't worry, darating din yung 4 years from now, sigurado. So, taon-taon, as you progress, ilagay mo na lahat ng mga details mo, lahat ng mga development mo sa school nyo or sa career nyo, ipasok mo na dyan sa loob ng resume link. Now, kunti-kunti, parang alkansya lang yan, di ba? palagay-lagay, pa piso-piso, hanggang eventually, pag-graduate ka na, punong-puno na yung alkansya mo. Ganon din yung purpose nitong resume link. Ay punong-puno na ng kaala or ng laman na you can now use to submit to the companies. So there. So that's one major function of the resume link. The other major function pa is that kapag gumawa ka ng resume link, you'll be getting notifications. And so, 'di ba, ano pang hahanapin natin? Imagine yung trabaho, lumalapit na sa atin. 'Di ba? Kung dati wala, hindi mo alam saan ka pupunta, saan ka mag-a-apply kasi ang dami-daming kumpanya, sabi ng mga narinig natin, hindi naman nauubusan ng trabaho. Hindi naman daw nauubusan ng kumpanya. Bakit walang trabaho yung mga tao? 'Di ba? So ngayon, itong tool na to, it makes your life really 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 so easy. Just set up an account and just wait for companies to match your profile. And it's up to you now to act on it. If you want to accept the challenge, kung nag-invite sila, then you take the call, di ba? Or kung hindi naman, then you just respond by telling them that you're not actively looking. O, di ba? At least lumalapit na yung trabaho sa atin. Tapos another purpose pa nitong resume link is that kung kayo ay may event sa school, halimbawa lang no, later on sa University of Cordilleras or sa Don Filemon Aguilar Memorial College ay meron tayong virtual career fair, magkakaroon po ng invitation. So, paano makakarating invitation sa inyo? Maliban, of course, sa social media na makakarating sa inyo sa mga kaibigan nyo or dahil sa alumni office, isa rin tong paraan para makarating sa inyo yung invitation. So, when you open your resume link, you'll be getting an invitation that will appear on your dashboard. As we call it, dashboard, no? Pag login mo, may lalabas doon na invitation telling you kung kailan yung event at anong oras, anong detalye. So, it's kumbaga, in short, sinusubo na nga eh. Yun yung gusto ko sabihin, no? Sinusubo na. Pag lumalapit na yung pagkain, wag na din tanggihan, no? Just accept. Pag busog na, edi sige, dyan muna. Until such time na kailangan mo ulit ng trabaho, ng opportunity, then gamitin mo ulit. So at least, gumawa na kayo. Ayan lang yung point dyan. Ano? Wala tong bayad. Okay, yun lang. I hope na-answer ko yung tanong, Ma'am Joyce.
Yes, sir. Okay, so
Yes.
another question po is, ito. Question tayo from the audience.
Yes.
So from Lester James Alfaro, may own application po ba ang Jobs 180? Ang date
May own application. Do you mean, Sir Lester, application like may trabaho ba sa Jobs 180? You want to apply to jobs180.com? If my interpretation is correct, pwede kayo mag-apply.
Ba to?
O baka mobile. Sige, di bale. Explore natin lahat ng possibility. Okay. So, doon muna tayo sa may trabaho ba sa jobs180.com. Yes, we have a lot of vacancies right now in our company. Ang difference lang kasi depende sa qualification. So, sabi ko nga kanina sa sample ko, pag gusto mo mag-apply doon sa kumpanya, regardless kung pasado ka or hindi, bigay mo resume link mo because you never know. 'Di ba? Halimbawa lang right now, we're looking for an experienced graphic designer or programmer. At halimbawa lang, si Sir Lester, may alam sa ganung background. Yun nga lang, wala pa masyadong experience. We still encourage you to submit your resume link to us. Bigay mo lang sa amin because by the time na magkaroon kayo ng more experience and you update your resume link, diba, for sure, yung HR namin, makikita ulit yung mga in-update yung information, pwede na kayo makontak niyan, diba, for the future openings. Now, kung ang tanong mo naman dito, kung may application ba, meaning may online app, no, yung si Jobs 180, we are currently in the process of creating one and doing one because we don't want naman to provide you an app for the sake lang na meron tayong app. 'Di ba? Ang objective na natin dito is yung paano mo siya gagamitin. Okay? Yung paano mo siya gagamitin. And you can use this even without an application, without a mobile app. Pwede mo naman siya gamitin. Just simply typing it in your browser, yung jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasi, type mo lang jobs180.com and you can see now yung information. Yan. Okay? About Jobs 180. There. So, I hope na-answer ko yung tanong ni Sir Lester.
Yan. So, meron pa po ba?
Yan, baka may mga tanong kayo. Baka may questions kayo about sa topics ni Ma'am Kat at ni Ma'am Sheena. I'll try to answer yung mga questions as in case, no? Baka may tanong kayo.
Okay, so habang wala pa, sir, another one. Since kanina pag-usapan, sir, yung attitude, sobrang importante na attitude ng aplikante. Kung kayo po ang tatanungin, would you hire the applicant who has good com skills pero walang people skills or yung hindi naman ganun kagaling mag-English pero magaling makasama?
Okay. That's a very good question. Actually, iba-ibang tao, iba-ibang personality. Yan naman totoo eh. May ibang tao, very good mag-express through verbal Diba? Kumbaga, in short, magaling bola. Hindi naman sa magaling bola. Pero yung kumbaga, kaya niya gawing very flowery, no? Very, very expressive, no? With the use of words. Pero yung sabi mong walang attitude, mukhang may problema tayo dyan. Kung hindi siya marunong makisama. Kasi ang company naman, hindi naman nabubuhay sa isang tao lang eh. No, unless ikaw yung sariling kumpanya, ikaw yung owner, ikaw na rin yung sarili mong staff, then yes, you will be able to survive on that aspect. Pero for someone na hindi makakasalamuha or hindi makikipag bagay sa ibang mga tao, hindi marunong makisama sa ibang mga tao, I think it will be very difficult to for that person to do what he or she needs to do. Kasi just imagine, 'di ba? There's a task. Dalawa yung papakisamahan mo eh. Kung ikaw ang staff, papakisamahan mo ang mga superiors mo, ang mga boss mo. Wala kang choice. Hindi mo yan pinili at hindi mo yan mapipili. Hindi mo pwede sabihin pa nag-apply kang trabaho, pwede po ba ang maging boss ko si ganito? Pwede ba maging supervisor ko or superior ko si ganyan? 'Di ba? You cannot dictate that to the HR. Okay? Now, the other one naman is kung ikaw naman yung boss, baliktad na. Baliktad na. Baka sabihin nyo, hindi lang utak empleyado, 'di ba? Syempre utak ano rin tayo, utak employer din. So if you're now the employer of the company, you're now the boss of that company, makikisama ka rin, 'di ba, to the people who are reporting to you, meaning yung mga constituents mo, 'di ba? Whether they are your managers or supervisors or your staff. 'Di ba? Simply put it that way. Whatever business you are doing, whatever type of industries you are in, you have to be able to have that pakisama. So, yung attitude na yan, very important yan, no? Hindi ko sinasabing very important na practicein nyo hanggang maging plastic kayo. No, hindi naman ganun. Kasi lalabas pa rin naman yan eh. Kung yung tao, alam mo yun, sa harap lang, pero behind the person, you say a lot of bad things or bad words behind the back. Ilalabas din naman yung tunay na kulay, ika nga. No? So, ang sa akin lang is, just be yourself when you apply to the company. Learn about the requirements and responsibilities. At least yung trabaho, alamin mo muna. Pangalawa, kung na doon ka na sa company, try to blend in with the culture, the type of people you are in. At kung yung dalawang yun mag-connect, edi good for you, happy for you. Diba? Now, if one of those two things will not work for you, diba? Simply put it, lahat ng tao doon, kabarkada mo na, okay na. Pero yung trabaho, hindi mo gusto. Diba? Or maybe, baliktad naman. Diba yung trabaho, gusto mo yung trabaho, pero yung problema doon, yung mga tao, hindi mo mapakisamahan. Hindi rin mag-work yan for you. You'll just putting yourself in a place where parang dinadrag mo na lang sarili mo to work. No? Kung ganun din lang. So, I hope you'll be able to find that the right blend and the right mix. At kayo rin mismo maka-adjust kayo. No? Hindi lang yung ibang tao nag-adjust sa inyo, pati kayo rin, marunong din tayo mag-adjust sa iba pang mga, sa ibang mga tao din. Okay? Ayan. So, I hope na-answer ko yung tanong ni Ma'am Joyce.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, another question po from the audience from Hershey Delvina. So, what kind of job or what are the available jobs po in Jobs 180?
Okay. So, thank you for the question, Ma'am Hershey. My assumption is babae, ang Hershey, no?
I think so.
What kind of jobs are available in Jobs 180? So, una, because we're an IT company, it's as expected, no? Ito yung notion, normally stereotype. As an IT company, we are in need of people who are also in IT. So, ang IT, malaki yung scope, no? We need people who are in programming, we need people who are into designing. When I say design, yung mga nasa aesthetics, no? Hindi yung mga coding, basically about the graphic designing, yung mga ganun, mga packaging, ika nga, for marketing purposes. Now, aside from that, speaking of marketing, we also need people who are in marketing. Marketing to be able to reach out or to promote yung ating mga yung ating advocacy, itong mga ginagawa natin sa jobs180.com, to be able to reach out to schools and to be able to reach out to companies na meron tayong ganitong mga services that exist for them to be able to know and utilize itong services na to. Now, another thing that we have in our team is we also need business development because we continue to innovate yung mga solutions namin and we love fresh minds, ika nga. No, hindi yung syempre may mga idea rin mga may experience sa tao pero iba rin yung idea ng mga fresh grad. Sometimes no matter how outrageous the idea is, it's still an idea. So walang bad idea, no, it's always a matter of timing lang. So we welcome all those type of people. Now another thing that we need in our team right now, I think this is one of the urgent position that we need is customer support. Yan, the customer support position. We want that person to be able to assist yung mga concerns ng mga job seekers, kung sakali may nagtatanong ng mga job seekers, kung may nagtatanong ng mga companies or mga schools na meron pong mag-a-assist for them. Ayan. So don't worry, pag kayo po ay na-consider dito sa jobs.com, hindi naman namin kayo papabayaan, no, na bahala ka na dyan sa buhay mo. Diba? Siyempre, we were going to train you and to teach you kung ano yung mga dapat natin asikasuhin or dapat natin alagaan dito sa ating company. Ayan po. So we welcome everyone who's listening right now. You can share this to your friends, relatives, or whoever you think would be able to help be of help dito sa resume link. Paggawa nyo lang po yung resume link sa kanila and then submit it to jobs180.com/jobs180. Ayan, yan yung mismong ano namin, mismong career page. Okay? There. So I hope na answer ko yung tanong na yon.
Ayan.
Okay.
So,
go ahead.
Again, sa mga interested po, nagkahanap ng trabaho, ayan, so visit lang po our page. Okay, sinabi ni Sir Kim, so, or www.jobs180.com, napakadali. Okay, so another question, sir, from, I think, Miss Diane Marcalas, from Miss Diane. Good morning, I'd like to know what we should avoid putting on our resumes. Thank you.
Okay, let me read that again. Good morning, Ma'am Diane. I'd like to know what we should avoid. Avoid. Okay. Avoid falsifying your information. yan yung para sa akin. You can put whatever you want there. Anything under the sun. Everything under the sun you can put in your resume link. For the HR to get to know you more, for them to learn more about what you can offer. Kahit na walang connect sa course mo, walang connect sa pinag-aralan ninyo, yung skills nyo, ilagay mo dyan lahat. Diba? Pero never ever put something na walang connect sa inyo. Okay? Just because narinig mo right now, uy, sabi ni Sir Kim, may vacancy daw sila, kailangan for IT. Diba? So gagawin mo ngayon, whatever yung course mo, lalagay mo, I am very good in programming. Yeah, example lang, nilagay mo dyan. So you don't falsify those information kasi magkakabukingan lang yan. No? Imbis na mapaayos, imbis na mapabilis yung application process nyo, or imbis na i-refer pa kayo sa ibang companies, because this is what usually happens sa mga HR, and I'm speaking on behalf of other HRs as well. Kapag nag-apply kayo sa isang company at hindi naging successful yung inyong application, for as long as you're able to present yourself and what you can offer to the company, and that HR see yung value na yon, kung hindi man mag-fit for that company, I am definitely sure if you're able to build good rapport, yung HR na nag-interview sa inyo, i-refer ka pa niya sa ibang company. And HR people are within the same industry. So sila lang naman din, kami lang naman din nagkakakilala dito. So eventually, if you're part of the HR team, ano ka na rin sa HR world, magkakakilala lang tayo dyan. So ganun lang din. Kung hindi siya pasado sa inyo, refer mo sa iba. Same thing din, we also expect other HRs na yung kung meron sila na-encounter na good candidate na hindi para sa kanila, they will also share it to us. Diba? Sa ganun lang yan. Umiikot lang yan. So yun lang yung sagot ko dyan, Ma'am Dayan. Very straightforward. Huwag ka mag-imbento ng information mo. Okay? You can put anything. Walang limit. Pero huwag mag-iimbento. Okay? There. I hope nasagot ko yung tanong. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, pwede pa ba, sir, mag-ask ng question? May question
sige lang. Baka mayroon pa silang questions eh. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so eto muna, sir, habang wala. Since napag-usapan rin natin ng work ethic kanina, and alam naman natin, sir, na you've been in HR also for a long time, para rin sa mga audience natin, as an interviewer po or HR, how can you assess the candidate's work ethic more accurately po through job interview?
Okay. To tell you,
ethic, paano nalalaman ng HR or interviewer po, diba?
To tell you honestly, I'm going to be very transparent. Matutuwa kayo sa sasabihin ko sa inyo. Okay, sa interview, hindi yan magkakaalaman kaagad. Okay, hindi yan magkakaalaman unless ilabas mo yung tunay na kulay mo sa interview. Okay? And it's very seldom that you don't put your best foot forward. You normally put your best foot forward when you go for an interview. Parang relationship lang yan, di ba? O yan, sige, para makarelate yung audience. Sabi niyo, puro trabaho pinag-uusapan natin, hindi kayo makarelate, wala kayong trabaho. Siguro naman sa relationship, no, sa mga nagkaroon ng mga karelasyon na before, or even for friendship, no, hindi porkat relationship pag-ibig na kaagad yan, no? Even for friendship lang, mga barkada nyo, kaibigan nyo. Sa simula naman, di ba? Hindi naman kaagad na tunay na kulay ng kaibigan mo, nakilala mo eh. Di ba? You will go through certain times, no, rough times, happy times, and then that's when you see the true color and value of the person. And it doesn't happen over a 1 hour or a 3 hour interview period. Unless na lang dun sa 1 hour, 3 hour period, nga, ginawa mo siyang consultation ng ano mo, sinabi mo lahat ng problema mo, yan. So magkakaintindihan na kayo nung HR by then. Okay? So ang sa akin lang is, again, when it comes to knowing the person's good ethics, yung work ethics niya, you really have to put the person to the test. Yan yung sa akin. That's my principle. The first thing I normally do as an HR is I look at the hard skills. Kung nagmamatch yung mga hard skills sa kailangan, then we now give it, a fair chance for that applicant. Kaya nga may tinatawag na probationary period, di ba? In most of the companies, you normally have a 5-month probationary period. You don't get to be regularized until your 6 months. Ano yung purpose ng probationary? Yun nga yung purpose niyan kadalasan is for you to have ample time na magkaroon ng adjustments, may palabas yung tunay na kulay mo, at maintindihan din yung culture at yung requirements, no, expectation sa inyo dun sa work, and vice versa. The company also will be putting you to that period of time for them to know if that employee would also fit the organization, both hard skills and soft skills. Lalo na yung soft skills side, yung sa soft skills, hindi kasi talaga siya basta mabilis ma-measure. Okay? So I hope na na-answer ko yung tanong. Okay, ayan. Oh, by the way, bago tayo sagutin tong tanong, isa pang nakita ko may lumabas, Ma'am Joyce, promote ko lang yung school portal ng dalawang schools po na nandito ngayon. Yung isa is schools.jobs180.com/University of the Cordilleras. Medyo mahaba, no? You have to type it with no spaces in between. And the other one is schools.jobs180.com/DFCAMC. Don Filemon Aguilar, DFA. Teka, baka magkamali ako eh. DFCAMC. Ayan, Don Filemon C. Aguilar Memorial College. So, you type it. I think our tech team will be flashing it also on the screen in a while. Okay, para makita nyo. Ayan, nalabas na sa screen. Ayan, mahaba lang yung sa University of the Cordilleras. Okay, so we can proceed with the next question, Ma'am Joyce. Nakamute yata kayo, Ma'am Joyce. Pero nababasa ko naman.
Sorry. Yeah. So, what is the most important thing an experienced applicant should possess to be able to get hired?
Ayan. Yan ang tanong na maraming kasagutan. 101 answers yan. It depends on the position that you're applying for. No? We understand all fresh grads, wala pa naman talagang actual experience maliban sa OJT ninyo. Yun naman totoo. Kung may OJT kayo, kung may internship kayo, paano kung wala? So everyone is fair. From step 1, from the first step, I mean, walang lumalamang eh. 'Di ba? You can only come up with things to market yourself more effectively, like what I was recommending earlier. You create your selfie video, 'di ba? You say something more interesting about yourself that is, I'm sure meron ka na wala sa classmate mo, 'di ba? Yung lamang ka sa mga ibang achievement mo compared sa ibang classmate mo. Yan yung mga things na sa tingin kong makes you different. Pero if you're asking me what you should possess, it really depends on the type of requirement or the position that you're applying for, no? Hard skills, soft skills, these are all being considered to be part of that organization. So it comes as a package. 'Di ba? Wala naman pong perfect din, no? Wala naman pong perfect. And I'm sure, no, wala namang magsasabi rin sa inyo mga nakikinig ngayon na perfect kayo. Okay? Wala pong perfect na tao. We just have to enhance or hone yung ating mga imperfections, 'di ba? If you think yung com skills nyo is medyo lacking, no? Medyo nahirapan kayo makipagsabayan pag may nakausap kayo na nosebleed ka na, 'di ba? So anong gawin mo? You practice like what Miss Kat mentioned earlier, no, during her talk. 'Di ba? Practice, 'di ba? Practice lang. 'Di ba? At huwag mahiya kahit na-order ka lang diyan sa mga fast food, 'di ba? Pwede mo sabihin, "Hi Manang, may I order one rice topping with pork stew?" O in short, pa-order po ng isang adobo with rice. O 'di ba? Parang ganun lang 'yan. Pero alam mo na, I'm just trying to humor you here, pero wala naman mawawala sa atin, 'di ba? Sabi ko anything that can make you improve, you do it. No, lalo na ngayon, mga virtual platforms, ang dami mga YouTube, mga sessions na pwede natin matutunan. Maliban sa mga TikTok, mga inaalam natin na pinapanood natin mga online, natuto tayo sumayaw at tumunan. These are also ways for you to learn more about skills, which I think will be very useful pag kayo ay mag-a-apply. Okay? So yan. Yan yung mga gawin natin. I hope nasagot ko yung tanong. Yan. Meron pang isang tanong. Oh. Sabi ni Ma'am Maria? Teka, let me try to... Oh, nawala. Iba pala. How?
I would like to ask how many are the partner companies or companies that are using Jobs 180?
Okay, how many are partner companies? It's too many to count. We've been existing since 2010. So just imagine for the past decade, how many companies have been using Jobs 180? I couldn't count. I lost count. Now, if you're asking this, Miss Maria, because you're thinking, baka naman pag pumunta ako sa kumpanya at binigay ko yung resume link ko, hindi nila alam. 'Di ba? Kasi that's possible, no? That's possible. You go to a company, the company has different people there. They have different HRs. Halimbawa lang sa ADP kanina or sa CDO. I'm using two examples because we invited those speakers from those companies. It doesn't automatically mean na lahat ng tao doon sa CDO Food Sphere at lahat ng tao sa ADP Philippines ay alam ang Jobs 180 o ang resume link. Diba? However, ito yung gusto ko i-highlight. If you're going to use yung resume link mo to apply to a company, and if ever lang na-encounter mo, sinabi ng HR sa'yo, ano po yan, Ma'am Maria, it's my first time to encounter that tool that you're telling me or you're showing me, just be polite in explaining to them. Be polite lang. No? Sabi mo lang sa kanila, yan po ang aking information, aking resume link. Pakitype lang po siya sa browser. Diba? Sa kahit anong browser meron nyo. At yan na po yung information ko. At kung may kailangan po kayong anything from me, pwede ko po yon ilagay dyan anytime, real time. It really depends on how you are going to explain as well and answer yung sa mga kausap ninyo. Okay? So yan yung sa akin. Kung yan yung iniisip mo why you ask that question. Okay? So yun po. Pero sa totoo lang ang dami na because we've been in the past years joining a lot of schools. We have about 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide. So the safe assumption here is that if the company is a partner of that school, then therefore they also know about Jobs 180 na. Yan. Okay? Yan. May pahabol pang tanong eh. Si Ma'am Maria. Siya rin itong nakikita ko sa screen. Sabi ni Ma'am Maria.
Okay, so last question, sir.
Last question na, oo.
Last question, sir. So, good morning po. Is there a chance po ba na ma-hire yung mga part-time employees that are looking for a job in jobs180.com?
Oh, lahat naman may chance na ma-hire. Whether fresh grad ka, part-time ka, full-time na natanggal sa trabaho or umalis sa trabaho, lahat naman may chance ma-consider for the job. What you need to do, first things first, is to apply. No, you have to submit your resume link. Because if you don't submit your resume link, walang indicator na interesado ka doon sa company. Kung isipin mo na, papasakaya ako dito sa company to, papasakaya ako sa company na yan, diba? Kung puro isip lang tayo, hindi tayo malalaman. Gawin natin. Diba? Ganun gawin natin. You submit your information to those companies and then you'll know. And whatever is lacking, if ever lang may kulang, from the requirements, then I recommend yun yung i-fill in natin. Yan yung mga kailangan natin ngayon ayusin para tayo ay ma-cover natin yung gap, ika nga. Okay? Oh, we have another one from Miss Ann Arevalo. Ako na magbabasa. Sabi niya, in your own perspective, in your own perspective po, yung pag-graduate po ba sa online class is an edge over other applicants or disadvantage? This scenario that we are in, I think puts everyone at a level ground. No? Yung lamang lang siguro ng hindi nag-online, ang assumption ko is that nagkaroon sila ng internship, yung physical internship kung nagkaroon ng OJT. Because of the IATF protocol na bawal tayo mag face-to-face, ang assumption ko sa mga lahat na nag-online class in the recent last year and this year, hindi magkakaroon ng physical na OJT experience. So kung meron man advantage is more on the part of the applicant because you get to experience how how it is to be exposed in a corporate world or corporate setting. Paano ba yung sinasabi na pakisama? Ano ba yung tinatawag na good work ethic, 'di ba? Matetest mo kasi nagkaroon ka ng chance na makihalubilo eh. No? Yun lang naman yung nakita kong advantage doon. But I'm not saying it's a disadvantage. Okay, I'm not saying it's a disadvantage na ikaw ay hindi nakapag physical face-to-face OJT, no? Because from what I learned last year, ang daming mga schools wala talagang makatanggap na OJT sa mga estudyante nila. Na not because the companies are not accepting OJTs, but because bawal nga. Yan po ay part na ng batas natin that we have to follow. So, don't be discouraged, Miss Anne. Whether you are taking an online class, continue to educate and equip yourself, no? Kumbaga sa gera, pareho lang naman lulusob sa gera eh. Pareho lang naman magat ang trabaho, 'di ba? So ang importante dito, paano mo hinaghandaan, paano mo i-prepare yung sarili mo, i-equip sarili mo. So prepare yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, no? Kahit na hindi ka pa pupunta sa opisina, physically, no? Pumunta doon, mag-a-apply. Yan, importante po lahat yan. Okay? And of course, emotionally. Kasi kung hindi ka pa emotionally ready mag-apply, eh wag mo na. No? Baka may gino-go through ka pa na ibang kailangan ayusin. Yan po. I hope nakatulong yung mga sagot ko sa inyong mga katanungan. Again, I encourage everyone to visit your career portal sa schools nyo, which is schools.jobs180.com/University of the Cordilleras. And the other one is schools.jobs180.com/DFCAMC. Okay? Short for Don Filemon Aguilar. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Kim, and maraming salamat sa mga katanungan ninyo. And if you still have questions, may mga pahabol pa, we'll try to answer them later or offline. Okay? Maraming salamat po, Sir Kim.
Maraming salamat. Thank you.
Okay. So, calling in Dean Michelle Pulon for the DFCAM for the inspirational message. There's a technical problem.
The life of the college. Together, good morning to all our guests, our college officials, our instructors present.
Wait lang, sir.
Present, all our loving students of Dr. Filemon's. Good morning to all our guests, our college officials, our instructors present, all our loving students of Dr. Filemon C. Aguilar Memorial College of Las Pinas. Isang mapagpalang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Today, it's a really important and significant on the life of the college to gather all our third year and fourth year students for this important gathering. We are very grateful that the Office of our Guidance Services has organized such activity beneficial to our learners on personality development and developing work ethics. These are important things to be integrated, coupled to our learning areas on academic affairs. How do we know really each day that everybody walks in the right path? Our personality counts a lot. What could be the feeling of each one? There is peace. You feel the blessings. You are in the right direction. And above all, you can experience God's presence. Paano mo malalaman magaan ang takbo ng buhay. With your topics today, they are timely and relevant. They are for success indicators because people think that success only depends on talents. I think it is not so true. For success should be coupled with other factors and criteria relevant to our lifestyle. There must be character, there must be values, and ethics. These are big factors in the success of anyone, contributory to the journey in whatever career we would like to move on. Let us start on character. What is it? It is the sum of every right decision, honest word, noble thought, and every heartfelt prayers. Mapapansin natin na sa loob ng classroom o sa labas man ng classroom o kung tayo man ay nakaupo sa loob ng jeepney o nasa bookstore man tayo, ang ating character ay lubhang mahalaga sapagkat ang mga tao na nakapaligid sa atin ay ramdam kung tayo nga ay nasa tamang direksyon at tayo nga ba ay mayroong proper education. Character is a precious thing. It is difficult to build, but easy to tear down. Bakit natin masasabi na gano'n? Magpakagaling-galing man ng ating ugali, ng ating karakter. Kapag may nagawa tayong isang bagay na hindi acceptable, ito ay babagsak. Para bang dun sa 10 magandang bagay na ginawa natin at nahaluan natin ng isa, ay nawalan na ng kwenta yung 10. It's better to seek to live with discipline, honesty, and faith. Hindi lang kailangan nating mamili ng lugar, kundi sa lahat ng pagkakataon ay ipakita natin ang tamang karakter na napapag-aralan natin at nagiging bahagi ng ating mga karanasan. Next is on values. What is a value? It is anything which satisfies a human need. It enriches our experience in life. It relates to our ultimate purpose in life. It is something that makes us happy because of decency and being trustworthy. Kung yung values natin ay mataas, kung yung values natin ay nakapagbibigay ng pagpapahalaga sa ating kapwa, sa ating pamilya, sa ating mga kaibigan, sa ating mga kaeskwela, sa kanino man, ito ay nagbibigay ng direksyon at nagpapataas ng kalidad ng ating pagkatao. That's why it says decency and being trustworthy. How many people today don't have them? How many people around cannot be trusted regardless of their position titles, of careers they have reached, of work they are involved in? Being trustworthy and honest is very important. Ano man ang mga bagay na ginagawa natin, laging nakapaloob kung ano ba ang values mayroon tayo. So from the character that we have, value is very important. That's why when you were in high school, on the subject of values education, to me, it is one of the most important subjects that DepEd has ever offered. Noong una, ang tingin lang natin, it is science, math, and English. But to me, let us add some more, and that is values education. Along with these two, we still have ethics. Sabi nga, how can we develop work ethics in the workplace? How can we employ work ethics in the classroom? How can we have this work ethics while we are around people? It is again determined according to your character and to your values. Why? Because ethics is considered as the science of morality of human acts. According to one of our scientists, it is referred to the study of man's action, his moral being, his rationality, determining what is right and what is wrong. Kung alam natin kung ano ang mali at kung ano ang tama, bakit pipiliin natin ang paggawa ng mali? Therefore, ethics is very important. Remembering all these three important and significant factors in our lives and integrating them in the intelligence that God has provided each one of us, and the talents and potentials which have been developed in the classroom through your teachers and through your professors. I always believe that Dr. Jose Rizal, our hero, is right in saying, ang mga kabataan ang pag-asa ng ating bayan. And accordingly, Benjamin Franklin says, our people's habits can be the destiny of our nation. My dear students, have we realized how important these things are? When we can have developed our personality, and we can also have developed our work ethics, despite of the fact that we are still in the classroom, but building them up and multiplying experiences and exposures in the right direction towards our journey. I think your success, your dreams will come to happen with joy and happiness. Achieving success is something not only within, but sometimes it is outside our control. It is in accordance, of course, with our Maker. Let us always remember that we cannot draw our destiny alone. We have someone sovereign in the authority of our God who can shape us, who can provide our best, and let us make Him the center of our lives. Let us be faithful and diligent with our work. In your studies, if you are working part-time, let us pray to God to give you the right direction and making your priorities the right ones in order to achieve the success. And after all, when we have entrusted all these things to God, with our effort and hard work, the rest is no longer in our control. It should be understood that God provides the all. My dear students, I hope and pray that whatever discussions you may have today, with your enthusiasm and resource speakers, the tips, the techniques, the ideas, which can help you more in your personal endeavor. May you enjoy this time and this discussion meaningful and fruitful because of our partnership with one another. God bless you all. Enjoy this seminar and we look forward for a beautiful result and interaction. Thank you so much and God bless.
All right, so thank you for that, ma'am. Now we proceed to the evaluation. To the students who are still watching with us, here's for the University of the Cordilleras. So we will be putting the link in the comment section and please make sure to evaluate within the day. For DFCAMC, the evaluation link will be posted on the Guidance and Admission Office Facebook page. So please wait for it to be posted there, and then please evaluate within the day. So to those who joined us this morning, thank you for being with us, and sorry na tagalan. So on behalf of Jobs 180 and the entire team, thank you all for being here. Miss Joyce, thank you again. To the entire DFCAMC and UC, thank you po. We would like to thank our partner, the CEO Group, for being our corporate sponsors for this event. Please check out the CEO store in Lazada and Shopee at the nearest mall in your area to shop for corporate attire needs, and for career opportunities. It's available at jobsready.com/CEO Group. Please watch out for the next set of webinars that we will be hosting next week. So it will be available on our Facebook page. So the topics will be there, and you're welcome to join in any of those sessions. So thank you. Miss Joyce, do you have last words?
None? Okay, so we're good naman na po, Miss Shari.
Alright, so see you guys. Have a great afternoon. Stay safe. Bye!
Agyaman kayo, Apo.